This episode of the Nerd Corporation podcast may contain spoilers and explicit language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey, it's Mike Zeck, designer of the Black Suit Spider-Man, and you're listening to the Nerd Corporation podcast.
Welcome to the Nerd Corporation.
What up, everybody? It's Thursday, and you know what that means.
Derek lives!
He's returned to us.
Yeah, so how was it? Your little COVID-cation.
I mean, I never had any symptoms or anything. And, just went the other day and got my shot in my arm.
Same.
I died.
Fucked me up.
I died. I died. It killed me.
Oh, no.
I came back.
Well, no.
Yeah, but you came back, and now you two are full 5G now.
Yeah!
And the government knows where you're at.
Not 100%. We haven't got our second one yet.
It doesn't matter.
It's when we get together, we do the whole Ginyu Force.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you need the fusion earrings.
Yeah.
Fusion! Ha!
Then we're full 5G.
Got it. But
Now you're just 2.5G.
Yeah.
for now.
For now.
No, but it's podcast day.
Yay!
Welcome to episode 116. I require elaboration. We are going to be talking about the first and probably only season of Wandavision.
I would think it's going to be the only.
I mean, it seems like it's really just a one-off to set up the next phase of everything.
I hope it's like that with all of them.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think
With
that's really
all the
cool.
series, it's just like a one-off series. And just
well,
call it
when
good.
we were done, I was like, that was a 4.5 hour long Marvel movie.
Yeah, no, I mean that's great because you can fit so much more context, history, etc., characterization into that sort of a format, and then go, and now we're gonna do a movie off of that.
Well, and it didn't
It's
lose
so
any quality either. It was really nice.
Yeah, it was 100% in every episode. Yeah, we'll get into the episode recaps, but first, let's get on with the nerd news.
Bombshell shit. Nomura is not directing part 2 of Remake.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who's directing it?
The guy that co-directed the first game.
Oh.
I don't know his name.
Why? Do we know why? No more?
So, basically, they said
People
that
finally get fed up.
they... oh, fuck. Maybe it'll actually come out in a reasonable amount of time. They said, and this really kind of stuck out to me, is that they really want to put Nomura in a Kevin Feige, whatever, how you ever say his name, type of position at Square Enix.
I think it's Feiju.
Feige?
No, it's not
Feige. It's Feige. The fact that you believe it makes you a fucking moron.
I did not believe him.
Oh, okay.
I was just
gonna
playing
say.
with the bit. Give me a little bit more fucking credit.
Hey,
next time,
that was a
man.
great job. That was a great job. You made me believe that you
You
believed it.
believed
Exactly.
the
So-
words that came out of his whore mouth.
Give me my Oscar now, please.
I'll eat shit.
Yeah, it's really weird because it seems like he just wants to be in this like FF7 universe director. Like he doesn't really want to be in charge of any products anymore. He just kind of wants to be the guy that's in charge of everything else.
The overseer.
The overseer, yeah. I just thought it was interesting. And that new Sonon guy that appears in the trailer with Yuffie,
Oh, yeah?
not playable. It's only Yuffie. But
That's
there's
fine.
these-
That's
yeah,
fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
And it's only 2 chapters, by the way. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
So J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot is developing a darker reboot of Constantine for HBO Max.
Fucking gave it to me.
Is that the movie with Keanu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's like a...
Yeah, and it's the show. I forget his name. It's the show with this guy.
Yeah.
Which I really liked him as Constantine.
He's the one from the crossover, right?
Yeah, from the TV series.
Yeah, he had a TV series on CBS, I want to say.
I don't know, because maybe was it the CW? Because I know he showed up on.
There was
Crisis on Infinite
there was some combination of letters.
I'm sure it was CW because he also showed up on what was it? Legends of Tomorrow. and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, so
it is CBS.
I mean, he was on CW a lot too.
Yeah, but I mean the series was on CBS. So was Supergirl. Supergirl was a CBS show too.
Oh yeah, that's right, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird because you'd think that everything that has to do with DC just gets played from CW.
Yeah.
CBS, what?
Yeah. No, yeah, Constantine and Supergirl were the DC characters that were on the CBS, but everything else I think is...
Yeah, because Legends of Tomorrow was definitely CW.
Yeah, Legends of Tomorrow is CW. The first episode of Superman and Lois came out last week.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, and it's not bad.
Really?
It's not bad. I mean...
Is this the Black Superman?
The Black Lex Luthor?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, Shaquille O'Neal was the Black Superman.
Yeah, he was.
Lest we forget.
Speaking of, in wrestling news, Shaq wrestled in AEW.
That's right.
Yes.
And he took a table bump like a champ.
Like a champ.
But fucking, he took it hard. Like there was no... Because you could tell he's still fairly new to wrestling. So he took the bump, but he instead of bracing himself or drop, he just like a log fell straight timbered down onto those fucking tables. Dude, it was it's funny because they of course they did the whole stretcher thing or whatever, they're bring medical personnel. It was funny when they did bring him and they put him in the ambulance. They had to make him bend his legs up so that they could close the ambulance door.
It reminds me of when WCW did the celebrity fights, and obviously the best one was when Karl Malone and DDP fought Hogan and
yeah, dude.
And who was on his team? I can't remember.
I don't remember
but
either.
yeah, and then it was Hogan and.
Too.
Anyways, so they all come out, DDP comes out, and then Hogan comes out and does his grandiose, he comes out, he
got the
stretches to rip his tank top. Yeah, Karl Malone comes out and is just in one motion, just rips his tank top in half, and he's just like,
yeah.
And Hogan's like, I made it look so hard, man.
Made me look bad.
Yeah.
In other wrestling news, Bobby Lashley is now the WWE.
Yes.
Yeah, he
which
is.
Which was really cool. I like that.
And Bobby Lashley is now, get this, only the third African-American man to hold the WWE title.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep. When you talk about world champions, there are about 21 of them. 17 to 21. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Don't come after me. But
don't cancel Eddie.
Yeah, don't cancel me.
Kill him.
Cancel.
Rip him apart.
But as far as African
Call him
American,
Mr. Potato Head.
Mister,
because he's been canceled.
Don't be forgetting the Mister.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah. So as far as the WWE title is concerned, the only African American men to hold it were Dwayne Johnson, who is half African American,
of course,
Kofi Kingston, and now Bobby Lashley.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and I hope he keeps it. I hope he keeps it. So it means Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania, which is going to be a banner match.
Yeah, and I really, really, I agree with, I believe it was you, Eddie, with the whole, or maybe it was Nick, I don't know. Anyway, I agree with the whole thing of putting Drew and Sheamus together as a tag team.
Oh my God, yes.
They need to have a little, bro it out reconciliation and become a tag team, because God, that would be so fun.
They had a 25-minute banger of a match on Monday Night Raw this last week.
Call themselves Shea McIntyre.
Shea McIntyre, there you go.
I should write for
WWE.
Macimus.
And I mean, they went at it, and they and they're two big dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big dudes. And they went all out. They were doing each other's moves. It was just an amazing match. And you could tell at the end of the match, Drew won because Sheamus attempted a bro kick, but McIntyre beat him to the punch with a Claymore. Which is probably the coolest move right now in wrestling, the Claymore.
Which is hilarious that it was so accidental
in
its inception.
Yeah. And it was so crazy. I remember McIntyre telling the story. He was going for a big boot, and his leather pants were so tight that he couldn't extend his leg all the way up.
So like he got his leg all the way up, but like because of the pants, it pulled his other leg right out from under.
He used to
They
look.
don't practice in their uniforms.
They have their own little like moments where they like spar it out
That's
a little.
hilarious.
Yeah.
He used to
Or
look.
sometimes they'll just even.
He used to look bizarro fucking different. Like,
Really?
Oh yeah.
he comes out. I remember the first time I saw him because I was watching rewatching old events on the network, and I can't remember which one I was watching, but like he came out and I was like, oh my god, because like no beard, he's like a little dude, and he's got these like fucking like Rock Revival wrestling pants on, and I was like, oh
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he was always strong, but he was never like beefy
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that if Sheamus and McIntyre become a tag team and win the tag team gold, like that's a good revitalization of the tag team division on Raw, because the tag team division right now is really just the Hurt Business and the New Day on Raw.
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, because they're never gonna give fucking Lucha House Party a shot
No,
at anything
ever.
and fucking any other tag team, they're just gonna Frankenstein together.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, and at least this would be a Frankenstein that made sense.
Well, I mean, yeah, like these two.
Like, in my opinion, the only Frankenstein they've ever done that didn't make sense that went amazingly is Team Hell No.
Yeah, with Daniel Bryan and Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I
that's
always
it.
liked seeing Kane and X-Pac.
Kane and X-Pac was good
Yeah.
too. Kane and X-Pac was good too, but the Team Hell No definitely was a good.
Like, it was a good.
It was a
team
happy
that
accident.
Got way over.
A new Nintendo Switch Pro is being heavily rumored right now. 7-inch screen. The current Switch that we have right now is a 6.6-inch screen, and the Switch Lite is a 6.2.
It's 5. It's 5 inches.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. It's considerably smaller than the normal Switch, but I think it's 6.2 for the regular Switch screen, because it's considerably
6 inches.
The 7, because I've seen like the mock-ups for it. The 7-inch looks a lot bigger.
Yeah.
So,
And those look pretty though. Like, there's like no bezel.
Well, the thing that's got my dick rock fucking hard is the fact that it's an OLED.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
So it's an OLED screen, and in TV docked mode, it'll be 4K.
Yeah, I'm wondering how 4K it's going to be, because these games really aren't being developed with that in mind. I mean, the Switch can barely handle 1080p.
Well,
So I'm curious.
I'm sure that they can upscale it to an extent.
Yeah, I don't have any doubt that they can do that, but I'm really excited to see this, because that's really like a big problem I feel like with the Switch is just those gigantic bezels on the screen. And if they just got rid of that, that would be like a completely different experience, especially if it's an OLED. Because I don't know about you, but the OLED on the Vita is like gorgeous.
It is.
And if you're playing like newer age games on that thing, that would be really, really cool.
It would be.
I do remember the Vita screen always looking really crisp and good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, man. I've just seen little mock-ups of people playing like Breath of the Wild on it, and and my biggest thing with the Switch right now is I just kind of don't really have a whole lot to play on it that I feel like the new that Mario game that I said I was playing last week is still fun, and I still need to return to it. By the way, to 100% that game, you have to get all the stars with all of the characters. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Fuck that. I'll do it with Mario, and you can. I will go away thinking that I 100% of that game. The same thing with Zelda. I did all the shrines. You can kiss my ass if you think I'm gonna get all 900 fucking Korok seeds. No way, dude. No way.
Angela, have you been doing the Mario event on Animal Crossing?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I have my warp pipe set up.
Dude, I have my warp pipe set up, to where I put one outside of my house and one inside of my house. And when you warp in, you warp into my Mario room.
Oh, cool. I love that.
Yeah.
That's sick as fuck.
I was just going to mention that, and I did get sucked into this as well. This was I read this as of like middle of last week or so, but Valheim has sold 5 million copies on Steam.
Yeah, that game seems...
5 million already.
See, I'm not really even into that scene. Like, the whole Rust scene. And...
And that's what I was going to kind of talk on, is it's like, I fucking hate Rust. Like, I tried to play Rust, and I got this game, and it's like, it has, the survival elements in it. Like, yeah, you gotta, if you're feeling hungry, you gotta eat, but it's not like you're gonna die if you don't eat,
Yeah.
But
I got dudes at work that just won't shut up about it.
I can see why now. Like, I was like, it's $20, I'll get it. If I don't like it, Steam has an ungodly return policy, so.
Yeah, they do.
But they actually, I sent something back to him because I didn't like it, and they were like, they said in the message, they were like, this isn't a way to try out games, so we can decline a return if we... And I was like, oh shit, I better back off for a second then.
Need to calm down.
Yeah, so it has really, really dulled down graphics, but that's so that they can just keep adding more and more shit to it.
As long as it's got a strong sense of art, like an art direction, it doesn't really matter. Like, look at Breath of the Wild.
It's still a gorgeous game.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild is like one of the most stunning games ever.
Here you go again, talking about Breath of the Wild. God damn it.
Some of those little details are things that I loved about original World of Warcraft, though, like having to feed your pet or it would get pissed and run away. Like, I liked that kind of... just bring a little
like, these are just the pictures I took of my fucking house.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And, like, it's still... That's, like, in-game, so you can see the graphics are a little bit kind of blocky and dumbed down, but there's... It plays... Like, the combat, I don't think you can lock on, but other than that, it's, like, very Soulsy in combat.
Really?
And, yeah. So, like, the first boss that I fought took me, like... 2 or 3 different tries, and when you get up, you make all your shit, so you craft all your weapons, and then if you die, everything drops where you died, and you have to go back. So, like, if you die during the first boss fight, you either have to run in, grab all your shit, and equip it while he's trying to fucking attack you, or you just have to, like, make new shit, and then go fight him again.
Really?
That's wild.
Like, it's...
Interesting.
Like, I bought the game... I was out sick on work one day and I bought it and I was like, I have, the whole day to try this game out. And I started playing it and like, I had played 2 hours of it and that was spent just like building my fucking house.
That's crazy.
Like, it's really fun and it's kind of hard to like explain to somebody who wants to know about it, but it's basically like a survival game that almost kind of looks World of Warcrafty, that has a sprinkle of like Dark Souls combat in it.
Fun fact, it's got more dedicated users right now than GTA 5 Online.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really surprise me, because with how fucking huge this game is right now, it seems to be quite the cult classic.
I'll say again, 5 million copies, and it's not even out of early access.
Yeah, that's so. It's in the contender for my summer game, because I'm looking for a game that I can play on my PC during the summer and have it be like something I hop onto every day. Mm-hmm. And so right now there's like the normal shit that I play, like Gears and Halo, but then there's also like, I'm kind of wanting to try Final Fantasy 14. I kind of want to see what it's like.
You could always try WoW.
I can, and the main thing with Final Fantasy is it is an MMO, and I've never played an MMO, but there's a level cap on how much it's free.
Same with WoW.
With WoW? Okay.
Yeah, you can play up to
it's like, what,
level
20?
15 or 20. Maybe it's 20. I think it's
15. Final Fantasy 14 is level 60.
Oh, shit.
Level 60 is the max level in WoW.
Oh, okay.
But you probably have to buy a copy of the game.
But it's like $15.
See, if you can download the WoW trial for free.
Okay. How much is it a month?
15 max 15 if you do it month to month.
Okay.
But like I do 90
The yearly?
day. No, I do 90 day.
Okay.
And that gets you obviously a little discount.
I'm wondering. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what game I end up doing.
I would throw Valheim's hat in the ring. It's
Yeah,
been really fun.
and that's what I was getting to, is that it will be there.
I think I really do think I'm gonna go back and replay the BioShock series.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea.
Did you play Infinite yet?
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually.
Infinite's the
I
one with
don't
Troy
remember.
Baker.
No, I know. Like, and I did play it. I played a lot of it, but I don't remember. I'm blanking on whether I finished it.
The ending of that game is fucking wild.
I think I did.
If you
no,
don't
I think I
remember-
did. Yeah, I did because
Is it?
like it turns out that like
In the river?
yeah.
I do have. I was gonna mention. I was gonna look up and talk about that Pokemon Unite game, which I'm kind of like
What is
vaguely
that?
interested. It's Pokemon MOBA,
Oh, okay.
which I'm vaguely interested in. But I did actually remember that Phasmophobia got a massive patch.
Really?
So it basically is. It's to put Phasmophobia in a much more stable state, which will allow for new content to start being worked on.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they haven't like done anything
We
crazy
need,
yet,
We need to
but
get back on that though.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Nick, I finished Little Nightmares,
Oh yeah.
and I'm about halfway
Good
done with the
God.
second one.
What the fuck is up with that game? What demented little soul made that fucking game,
I'm
dude?
telling you, dude, that game is so wild.
Did you
I-
finish the first one?
I haven't yet.
I still need to get number 2. I just haven't. I'm like
Number 2's
clutching
good.
what money I have until Friday because that's when I get paid.
WandaVision.
Potato Head.
That's Mr. Potato Head to you. They even say it in Toy Story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that is just a particular potato head.
right.
It's not
has-
the potato head.
Gives a fuck, man.
I haven't even seen a fucking potato head in years, dude.
I don't think they exist.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're actually just gonna call him
But they
Potato Head now.
No, they reversed it.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Yeah, they-
fucking Hasbro was
Like,
like,
after everybody got all upset about it, they're like, "Fucking fine, we'll call him Mr. Potato."
yeah,
Jesus
Mr. and Mrs.
Christ.
Potato Head, they like tweeted it out. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head aren't going anywhere. We're just rebranding the whole thing and just calling it Potato Head, but you can still have a Mr. and still have a Mrs.
And you can have a general.
You know the guy writing the
For one
tweet
thing.
was just like,
Conservatives got really upset about a toy that you stick a bunch of shit up their ass.
For people that call people snowflakes, god damn.
Yeah, for real.
Well, I mean, they have their own cancel culture and
Yeah.
they just don't want to admit it.
Oh yeah.
Colin Kaepernick.
NFL.
What? That's terrible. Let's cancel that. But that's cancel culture. No, it's not. Why not?
Because
It's
he
just-
disrespected our flag.
It's not.
The scariest thing in the world for me is that I can't see my little racist pictures in my Dr. Seuss books anymore. That's the scariest thing ever. For
I
me.
can't make fun of Chinese people in a book anymore. That's ridiculous.
Well, and what's funny is that nobody complained about those. Like, just the publishing company was like,
Yeah.
we're gonna not.
We're,
Yeah.
And it's
we're just
book-
gonna change it.
And it's books that no one's even heard of.
No,
Exactly. Like,
nobody.
There was no preemptive outcry. The Seuss estate was like, you know what? It's maybe
Oh my
time to
God.
The
get
thing
rid
that
of
they
it.
did wrong with it is that they announced it.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
The thing that makes me want to
No one would've
jump
had
off a
any clue.
fucking bridge is when I see the post that's like, Trump killed the fucking Iran people, and then Biden killed Dr. Seuss and,
And
Mr.
Potato.
Potato Head. I'm like, dude, just end it. I'm gonna twist my head so far until it's just black, and I'm no longer here anymore. Fuck those. I can't stand the internet anymore.
So get off
But
it.
WandaVision,
WandaVision, yes. So we start episode 1 in the 40s, 50s. The
I think it's the 50s.
it's
It
the
is the
50s.
50s, right? So
It's the Dick Van Dyke Show.
it is. It's the Dick Van Dyke Show, and that was one of her favorite shows when she was a kid.
Well, so we learn, like,
Later.
yeah, towards the end of the series that, like, Wanda learns English from these sitcoms, these family-oriented sitcoms. So that's what.
Well, and there was
Creates the whole-
there was one particular episode of Dick Van Dyke which was her absolute favorite.
Which was
like
the walnut
season
episode.
2 episode
Which
like 26 or something
apparently
like that.
is like the episode itself has a lot of like really off, like creepy things about it.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's the walnut episode where
Yeah,
Dick Van Dyke has a really bad dream where and like all of this crazy shit is going on.
Like it's almost like Twilight Zone-esque, you know?
Yeah. And so in this episode, Dick Van Dyke has a dream, and this dream just goes all kinds of fucked off. Like it's just who is it that plays alongside Dick Van Dyke? Is it
Mary Tyler Moore?
Mary Tyler Moore, yes. Mary Tyler Moore comes out of a closet and just surfing on a bed of walnuts. Yeah, like
and like the walnuts are infected with something, so if you eat the walnut,
right, like
the aliens take over eating the thing.
Dick Van Dyke opens the walnut, and there's some kind of like stone or something in there, which is super reminiscent of her volunteer time.
Okay.
At Hydra when she was able to receive the Mind Stone.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, like it's super tied in.
Well,
like,
it's kind of cool that that's a reference towards that really obscure, weird episode of Dick Van Dyke, because that's kind of the vibe that I got from the majority of the show, especially during the whole the
whole
first
first
Malcolm in the Middle section of the show, is because like they're trying to like play this off like a Malcolm in the Middle, but there's like something very off
Like
about
sinister.
right,
everything.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is the first 2 episodes, you're like, oh yeah, this is just like a comedy about because I didn't get the time switch between the first and second episode right away.
right, because they were just so close together in decades.
Yeah, but then I was like, oh, but that's like kind of Bewitched, like
Yeah.
right, because
or
that's
Bewitched-esque.
that's how the second one starts.
Yes,
it starts
it's
like Bewitched.
I gotta tell you,
But yeah, I was like, yeah, this is just like a cute comedy of them.
Well,
like,
see, but like I knew, like, because even in the first episode they did this where, you know, Wanda would sort of have that reality break where like you know, everything would be going fine and swimmingly, and then all of a sudden something would happen that would just kind of make her just
Kind of snap back a little.
like almost catatonic for a second, and just, you know, go, whoa, hold on, nothing,
Snap
something's
back
wrong.
to reality.
It'll become straight.
I
But
can't
like,
believe we all just did that.
I was expecting one person, but
Fuck out of here.
but yeah, like so, but in the first episode it was minor,
Yeah.
and in the second episode it was still pretty minor, and it just like gets bigger from there, like just over and like as it goes, it intensifies.
Right, and that's
It's that slow burn.
it's super slow burn, but it
Love
was
it.
such a good
So
payoff.
good.
It's such a slow burn that the first episode, I kept thinking, I'm like, oh my god, I really have to watch this right now.
Yeah.
I just remember thinking, like, there's so much, because I was like, there's got to be so many like little things where everyone's like, oh, that's the thing, that's a thing, and I'm like, I don't know any of this shit.
Right.
Because like literally the last Marvel movie that I saw was Far From Home, and that's it.
Right, and then this right here actually, WandaVision takes place a year and a half after Far From Home.
And then like I knew just from like the internet and memes and shit of like what was kind of happening. Like I knew that Vision was dead. I knew like how he died. I didn't know like the stuff around Wanda
Right.
around his death, but I knew enough.
Right.
To know.
And it's
like
it's crazy because like this is MCU Wanda. MCU Wanda and comic Wanda are two completely different people. Because in this one, she had her and Pietro had regular ass parents who died, right?
well, and like Agatha was her mentor.
Yeah, Agatha
Like,
was her
they were
mentor.
in the
homies.
comics.
Yeah, in the comics.
Really?
Wanda and Pietro Maximoff are actually the twin children of Magneto.
Oh God.
Yeah. So
So was the Evan Peters thing, just like a loving nod.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
To
Like,
To the X-Men, because
Yeah.
he played the...
He was Quicksilver.
He was Quicksilver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
And
Pietro
one-
Maximoff.
Okay.
in this, he was being controlled by a necklace, which I'm curious about because they never explained that.
Well, it was
And
just
no one else was being controlled by anything like that. Not, and of course that could just be because it was Agatha.
Right.
But
Right, because Agatha needed him to do her bidding.
yeah,
because he was her husband Ralph that she was always talking.
and there
about.
was another Quicksilver, and it was the dude that played Kick-Ass
yeah.
at one point.
Yeah, that's MCU. That's
that's
MCU. Yeah, that's MCU Quicksilver. That's the original Pietro that everybody sees in there. Which I love when in the Halloween episode when the two kids were like kick ass and she was like kick ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Interesting.
yeah, so in the first episode, they have people over for dinner and it's
The boss.
the boss and his
Deborah
wife.
Jo Rupp in there looking
Yeah.
like she
Yes.
hasn't aged up.
Dude,
I know,
Dude,
she
I-
looks so
Dude,
good.
She is
I love
such a
her
fucking
so much.
fox, dude. Oh my god.
You'd hit that?
Is a gem.
She is. I love.
You'd
I
be
love her
crazy
so much.
not to hit that.
With consent.
Because we at the Nerd Corporation are
Pro
consent.
Pro
Consent.
consent. Damn you.
We haven't done it in a while. It's okay.
Pro-consensual sex.
Yes.
Pro consex.
Pro consensual
pro-consent.
intercoursing.
Broken sex.
PCI.
Yeah.
We're
PCI
PCI
of
compliant.
The BFI. The HBI. The hot beef
PCI
injection.
compliant.
The FBI. Federal Booby Inspector.
Yes. One of the things that I really liked about every episode is that they had these little commercials
Yes.
in the middle of them, right? And so one of the first commercials was for a toaster called the Toast Me 2000, right? And so it was made by Stark Industries.
Yep.
And if you look at, and if like at the end of the commercial, they're like Toastmate 2000 made by Stark, it would beep and it had a little red light. And that's the callback to the missile that dropped in front of them.
Okay.
One thing that I do also want to like detail for each episode is kind of the things that started going wrong. Like, so in episode 1, of course, it was with the dinner with the boss when he starts choking, right?
Yeah.
And she was saying, "Stop
and
it."
the mom is just
Stop.
going, "Stop it, stop it,"
Yeah.
and just not really.
That's Wanda's slip right there in the first episode. Is that's her first slip out of what's going on. Like she's realizing.
Yeah, that's
what-
like
what are
the
we
first.
doing here?
Yeah,
This
that's
isn't normal.
yeah, that's like the first sinister moment for me. And like, but later you realize that like she's scripted all of this to an
Yeah.
extent,
Right.
and so it goes off script, and so she's like,
Well, and in the first few episodes, she doesn't realize that she's doing this.
yeah,
Like in the first few episodes, she's just as enveloped in this crazy thing that she's created that she's forgotten that she's created it herself.
Yeah. Okay.
So when Deborah
You
Jo
lie
Rupp-
so much that you believe the lie.
yeah. So when Deborah Jo Rupp starts to say, "Stop it, stop it, stop it," and he's choking, and she doesn't have any answers for why they're there, where they come from, where they got married, do they plan to have kids?
Yeah.
So like them asking those questions because she's so ingrained with all that sitcom knowledge. That's just what that's just the flow of how things are supposed to go.
Which is also great thinking back on it because, at the time, obviously we don't realize this, but I mean, we meet Agnes right off the bat and she's the one asking, well, when did you get married? When, like, she's
You
the
guys
one,
have a
she's the
song?
one
Do you
asking
have-
questions that she knows Wanda doesn't have the answers to,
So she can kind of
which is really kind of cool.
yeah,
you
which
know?
shows so in like without even knowing it in that episode, she's trying to pull those strings to kind of just help her unravel and realize the fact that she's created.
I
this
did
place.
just want to mention a little part that I thought was cool. So I know that I think it was brought up at one point when we like talked about this show for a minute in one of the episodes, but just the wordplay, like, so Wandavision, obviously Wanda and Vision, but it's like a Wandavision TV show, and it's like
It's Wanda's
hers.
vision.
And then this didn't hit me until like halfway through the second to last episode, but Agnes, Agatha Harkness, like
Yeah.
that. I was like, hang on a second, bro. Like, okay, I get it
Right,
now.
and since she was just an entity that came into the hex, she was just like, oh well, I have to think of something. I have to think of my own name, so Agnes.
Yeah.
I just found this insanely stupid tweet where this guy was like, "Oh, I get it now. It's because her name is her name is Wanda and his name is Vision. Wandavision."
That's why I was laughing.
But yeah, and so of course when she snaps back into it, she's not requesting that Vision help her. She's telling him to. She's making him do it.
Okay.
She's ordering him to do it pretty much. Because everybody was at a standstill at that moment. Like, nothing was happening. This man was going to die pretty much.
Very awkward, or not awkward, but very strange pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, of course, Vision saves her and they go on their way.
Yeah.
And they're like, crap. And so then they are like, oh, well, what's our song? Yak Yak. What's, what's this and that and the other. And so they're starting to, so like, without even knowing it, Wanda is helping Vision solidify the illusion.
Okay.
And so we go on to the second episode where it's Bewitchy.
Yeah,
and it's
60s.
And who do we meet in this episode?
Well, so this is the talent show episode.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time. So
we meet Monica.
We meet Monica Rambeau, who also takes the Captain Marvel mantle. She also goes by Photon, Pulsar, like a bevy of other names.
But her name's Geraldine right now.
Yeah, her name is Geraldine in the show. And if you look in the third or fourth episode, when she's looking at a placard of her mom, her call sign is Photon.
Oh, okay.
Which is a nice little...
It's a nice little, like, callback. So
we also meet Dottie, the
Her real name's Sarah.
The neighborhood hen.
Yeah.
The mother hen of all the PTA people and all that kind of jazz.
That wasn't Christina Applegate, was it?
No.
Okay. I thought it might have been, but I wasn't for sure.
So this is also the episode. I mean, so much was going on in this episode. It was like, I mean, I was enthralled from the beginning.
Right. We also switched to color.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This is the episode where we swapped to color.
In the Bewitched
Technicolor.
one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 2.
Because at the end of the episode,
Oh, that's right.
they kiss and everything's
The
nice.
little
Yeah,
helicopter.
and before that happens, though, is when we get that drone
Yeah. Yes.
that is in color, while everything else is still in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool. Of course, like I love that, she's so powerful that she has all of this pretty much on autopilot. So anything that goes into the hex just automatically turns into a device or a version that would have been around in the time period that is currently being played out.
Yep.
In this case, a remote-controlled helicopter.
Yeah. So really, really cool stuff. This is also the beekeeper.
Yes.
We also get the beekeeper
At the
that
end of the
comes
episode,
up
yep.
through.
That was like, for me, that was just like, that was when I was like, oh, what? Okay, something.
Right.
What the fuck, man?
I
Like,
got some Control vibes off of that moment. I was like, what?
But
the fuck?
the helicopter has the sword logo on it.
Yeah.
And so that's another, moment of sort of breaking the illusion up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, that paled in comparison to the beekeeper, though.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
That was what, like, really sent her head spinning.
Right. And we get, in this episode, we get the Strucker watch commercial.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And Strucker is the scientist who awakens Pietro and Wanda's powers.
Also, though, one of my favorite things about the episode was just the gum that gummed up the works.
Yes.
oh, yeah.
Of Vision. Like, that was so great. And it must have been so fun for Paul Bettany.
Okay, so explanation time.
Okay.
What is Vision?
Do you require elaboration?
I do.
He is a
Vision.
robot.
So Vision is a synthesoid. So he's
A robot.
He's a robotic body with, a fully autonomous mind inside, basically.
Okay.
so before he was the Vision, he was Ultron.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ultron was, in the movie version anyway, Ultron is building Vision so that he can inhabit that body. But what happens is Jarvis sneaks in instead, and so that's where we get Vision, and he totally, they thwart Ultron's plans.
So he's basically Tony Stark's old AI.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's made out of vibranium.
Yes, he's made
which
out
is
of
what Cap's shield is made out of.
Yeah, which is exactly why Ultron wanted that. Like that's why he stole
Well,
the
and
vibranium in the movie, and he
It's
wanted this
also-
indestructible body.
It's also why the agents wouldn't let Wanda bury him.
Yeah.
Or
Mhm.
whatever.
Super expensive.
Right, and vibranium is the strongest metal in the Marvel universe, like stronger than adamantium. So it, which is why Omega Red is so powerful against like Wolverine,
Okay.
is because his tentacles are made out of vibranium. So when Wolverine and Omega Red fight, like it's a fucking fight,
Okay.
But yeah,
I just had to make sure because I didn't really know. I saw like the gum and everything and how it did that like kind of kooky little picture, like old school picture of the gears.
Yeah, he just
gummed
can't
up.
eat human stuff, or else it
Yeah.
does that to
Okay.
him.
Now, of course, we learn in later episodes that the beekeeper coming out of that manhole cover was really a sword agent who was sent in there through the sewers to see if he could gain access. And
He was trying to get past the hex, wasn't he?
he was trying to circumvent the hex.
Yeah.
They thought if he
They
went
thought
underneath
maybe,
it.
if you go underneath it, maybe you're good.
Yeah.
But the hex cut off his tether.
And it was a jumping
And-
rope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then when he emerged a beekeeper.
It was one of those like almost like macaroni bead jump ropes
Yeah,
too
yeah,
that
yeah.
like was enclosed around the
And-
rope.
is it this episode or the next episode where Wanda's pregnant?
Next episode. So this one turns to color, and then at the end of the episode, it becomes the 70s. So the 70s already creep in before the third episode actually even
So
starts.
what 70s show are they?
It's the Brady Bunch.
The Brady Bunch.
Yeah, the house looks exactly like the Brady Bunch house.
Just like reversed, like mirrored.
Okay.
So yeah, and so but like a lot happens in this second episode while Wanda and Dottie are
Right.
talking.
Oh yeah,
There's a radio sitting next to them, and someone's trying to call out to Wanda, and we realize that that's
Jimmy Woo.
Agent Jimmy Woo.
Which
And I
is
love-
so hilarious.
He is-
I
he is-
love Randall Park so much.
Yeah.
So he's
so
the
good.
guy that played Kim Jong Un, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the interview.
Yeah. So I
Oh.
thought it was funny, his name being Wu.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Well, his real last name is Park, which is also a
is it?
yeah.
Yeah, Park is a.
Is it Korean
So
name?
so
Well, it's Pac.
He also goes by Jim Halpert.
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah.
or John Krasinski.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
Asian man. His name is
is Woo.
Cancel WandaVision.
Yeah. But and then that was the second moment of immersion break
Yeah.
for
okay.
Well, and right before that, Dottie gets cut
Yeah.
with the glass.
And that's when you see red blood,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, you see red
Oh, right,
blood.
so we're still in
So
kind
we're
of
still in
like-
black and white
Yes,
because
that's
that's
right.
still like midway through the
Yeah,
episode.
mhm.
Yeah. okay.
But yeah, so she gets cut, and then you get the radio, and then just like with the dinner scene and everything, like this weird reality altering thing, like something that shouldn't be happening happens, and then some character just says a line, and we're back into the show. We're back into this reality.
Right.
Well, and the people who are outside of the hex looking in, they just see a cut. Like
Yeah.
it's like a really
Like it's being edited.
yeah. And that also happened when she was in the Hydra facility. And so they didn't
Yeah.
see her like merging with the stone.
There was a meme that I saw slightly off topic in my Seinfeld soup posting group.
Yeah.
Where it was showing Jerry's parents, and it was when I think the actor that played his original dad died or something.
Yeah.
So it's when they.
I don't know if he died.
I don't either. I want it. It sounds like he might have, but anyway. So they have the new actor, and then it goes back to Kat Dennings, and she's like, "They recast Morty."
yeah, that's right.
I love Kat Dennings. She did so good.
It's a whole snack, man.
Oh my god, I would.
She got them boobies
Milkers.
on the internet.
That mommy milkers.
I'm pretty impressed with her ass. She's a very attractive woman.
Oh my god.
Kat Dennings can get it.
Any day of the week.
But only if she
wants to.
I was going to say only if she asks.
But only if she wants to. Because again, we at the Nerd Corporation are
Pro consent.
Pro consent.
We are professionals at consent.
Did you see that? That was 2 inside jokes
Yeah.
at the same time.
Exactly.
2 callbacks in one.
They said it couldn't be done.
Professional motherfuckers,
I don't know
right
who they
here.
are, but
We're
we
so-
said it couldn't be done.
We are some producers. That's for damn
We
sure.
are. We are.
Steamberg.
It was right at the front of my. It was right at the front of my mind, and then like clockwork, you guys both just
Who
said
said producer?
it was him.
That was
me,
you,
that was
and then
me.
I was Steamberg.
Wait, no. I said producer
Did you?
I thought
Yeah.
Eddie did.
No, I didn't.
because it was our Resident Evil episode.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Producer.
Didn't I? I did. I said something.
No, well, he said
stupid
producer, and then you coined producer.
I thought I flubbed something in that one too.
That was the Back to the Future episode, right?
Steenbridgen, yeah.
Where I just couldn't fucking do it, dude.
Not at all.
I kept reading. I'm like, I just can't fucking read today. I can't speak.
Oh, back to the times when we read shit.
Yo, shit. Back when this was a Wikipedia podcast.
Yeah, and so at the end of the episode, that's when Wanda develops her belly, right?
Well,
Which was very
Yeah,
weird, because it was like,
yeah, like the very last bit.
I was like, what in the fuck is going on? Because there was all the talk about Vision being a
synthesis.
not a dude, and so I was like, I was very confused, Mr. Simper, sitting there watching the show. I was like, okay.
I
you
bet
talking
he do
about
got
when-
that high vibration though.
Are you talking about when he like changes to a human?
No.
No.
Like
Oh.
when she's pregnant.
She just becomes
yeah,
pregnant
yeah.
out of nowhere.
And I made a cum joke and it was horrible, so I won't repeat it.
He said
She will though.
he said is his cum oil? Does he cum oil? And I was like, no, lubrication.
It's that synthetic oil, so it's all green.
It's for high mileage.
Spicy. That says a lot more about Wanda than it does Vision.
That was a good one.
Spicy. Every 30,000.
God damn it.
All right, so then we move on to episode 4, right?
3.
3, yes, sorry.
The Brady Bunch
3,
episode.
3.
Yeah, so it's the Brady Bunch
Monty
episode.
Python joke.
It's
3, pick number 3, my lord.
5. No, 3, sir. 3. 3.
So we enter the episode and she's pregnant and the doctor comes in and he goes, oh, well, you're about maybe 4 months in, right?
Is that right?
And they're like, what? Huh?
The fuck? Like,
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
was yesterday, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
And it was and the doctor was like, oh yeah, you know, glad you caught me. We'll see you in a few months. I'm going on vacation.
Didn't you say he was going to Bermuda?
Yeah.
Which
So-
was kind
And
of
it's-
weird too.
And it's funny too because like the pregnancy, not only is it clearly much further along in a much more rapid manner than a normal pregnancy, but it's accelerating too.
Right.
Because Vision calculates like, well, you'll like given this rate, like you'll give birth in like a few days or whatever.
Yeah.
And like within a matter of minutes, she's having contractions.
Yeah.
Right. And it was cool because they they in the whole time through they were arguing about what the name of the kid would be, right? They would be like Tommy or Billy, and
It's twins.
when in with what I knew, I knew it was going to be twins,
Right.
Yeah.
because Billy and Tommy Maximoff do exist in the comics.
Okay.
One of them
They
is
are-
Wiccan.
and the other
Speed.
one's Speed.
That's right.
Who are part of the Young Avengers.
Okay.
So when they started arguing between them, I'm like, oh, it's twins.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, it's fucking twins.
Like, I already know.
See,
It's so funny too, because like I sit here and I watch him with Misty, of course, and I'm just like, don't say anything.
Just
And then you still say things.
Yeah, that's
just sitting
true.
there watching.
Oh,
It's fucking twins.
By the way, Misty's here.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Everyone say hello to Derek's lady partner.
I thought you were gonna say lady part.
That's what he calls it. That's what he calls it. He calls it Misty.
Down, Misty, down.
He named it.
Yikes.
But yeah, and
Princess
so
Penelope.
and what else is going on while the
So Geraldine comes over.
Yeah,
I've been playing too much Witcher.
Geralt of Rivia comes in. Seems you're
just
having a
starts hacking
baby.
everyone's heads off.
Gerald of
According to your
Dinia.
witch.
Yeah, so Geraldine comes in and befriends Wanda.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
like, she
the
already kinda
fucking
was.
stork.
But
Yeah, this is the episode where the stork comes in and is just like randomly fucking with the
well,
house.
yeah, and Wanda is, with the pregnancy and everything, her magic is on the fritz, so she can't
That's
get rid
right.
of the stork.
That's right. Yep.
And then also, all of these magic things are happening, and, eventually Geraldine, sees that she's pregnant, and sees, because she's there when she starts to give birth and everything, and all this shit is going fucking ballistic.
Yeah, there's that part where I think it's when Vision's coming back and he sees I'll say Agnes for the sake of
Yeah.
sees Agnes talking to Herb, and he notices that Herb's like lawn or hedge trimmer is just like cutting through the fence.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere that that's because that she's having, she's giving a baby and she can't focus her magic, so everything's kind of just
Well, that's
But
also
later we find out that it's Agatha just fucking around with people.
yeah.
But that's also why Geraldine has a slip, right? And says like, "Oh, your brother died from Ultron."
Yeah.
right?
So that was in the previous episode.
No, it was
No, it
It
was
was in
this
this
one.
episode.
It was this one.
because they were
You're right.
They were standing over the babies, and she was like, "I'm a twin."
Yeah.
And my
Yeah,
my
that's
brother's
right.
name is Pietro, and it's like she had that moment of clarity.
Yeah, like she, because Wanda's, her mind's drifting and she's not controlling the narrative, like, with her subconscious as tightly as she should.
Because of pregnancy.
With everything going on, having just given birth, all that other stuff, like, she's going a bunch of different, she has new babies,
Yep. Mhm.
all this other stuff. So, like, she releases for that second because Geraldine, when she goes into the Hex, is just as much a part of being controlled
The
as everyone else
community.
in there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
so
and
she
then-
loosens that control a little bit, and then that slips out.
The commercial for this one is Hydra Silk,
Yes.
and so it's a luxury bath powder that can help you, quote, escape to a world all your own, which is what Wanda does.
Mhm.
Coming to Westview. The woman in the commercials saying, "You read my mind," also serves as like a kind of a reminder of Wanda's powers, which include reading and manipulating people's minds.
Okay.
After Agatha snooping around in episode 8, it puts Wanda's powers in new context. Quote, "Find the goddess within," because that's the tagline for Hydra. So, Wanda, it just kind of saying that Wanda's powers have always been inside of her, and that she wasn't given her powers like she thought.
Okay.
The other thing, too, is that with Geraldine and Herb, or not Geraldine, but with Agnes and Herb out there chatting,
The nosy neighbor.
Vision goes out and is like, "What's up?" And that's when they are like, "So what's with Geraldine? Like,
Yeah.
You know she doesn't belong here, right?
You know
Like
she
she doesn't
doesn't-
have a home.
Yeah.
She doesn't like.
She's no family.
Yeah, she's
nothing.
no family, no husband, no home.
Like kind of like cluing them in, like, hey, she's not originally from Westview. Like,
which in my opinion is where Vision really starts, internally at least, questioning what the fuck is going on.
Right, exactly. And like, yeah, because he's just like, what's going on? And she's like, well, we thought maybe we thought she was here to help us because we're all, and Agatha like shuts him up and is like, no.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're all what?
Yeah, like, because before this, Vision's as preoccupied with keeping up the appearance of being normal people as Wanda is. And so I think that sort of distracts him from looking kind of beyond what's right in front of him, And this is the first moment where he's like, wait, what the fuck is going on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She doesn't belong here, right? That's racist!
What else goes on in this episode?
And here is another instance of where we see the sword logo on Geraldine's necklace.
On Geraldine's necklace. Yeah. Because when she hears that Geraldine says, oh, he was killed by Ultron, she looks directly at her necklace. And on that necklace is the sword logo.
Yeah, and that's when she's like, who are you? What are you doing here? And then that's when we get that edit.
Yep.
And Geraldine's gone.
Yep. And so, Vision comes back in. They have, like, he's like, hey, what's going on? And she looks up and she sees Vision, but she doesn't see the regular Vision. She sees Vision with the hole in his head from where Thanos had plucked the mind.
Horrifying.
Yeah, it was super creepy looking.
Yeah, and then he asks, like, well, what happened to Geraldine?
She goes, oh, she had to go.
Yeah, she had.
But she got forced out of the hex.
She got blown.
She got yeeted.
She got spat the fuck out.
She had to go through the wall, through the hex.
Somebody had to go.
She got kicked off the island.
And she was the weakest link.
And so that ends episode 3. And so episode 4 is our catch-up episode, right? Like, this is where this isn't right in the hex, right? Like, this is where
this is outside of it, where it shows all that stuff.
Right, and
everybody trying to figure out what the fuck is
Big titty woman.
Big titty woman.
And so we get is this Monica's backstory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
it's her coming back
after
from
the blip.
Yeah. It's her coming back after the blip. And
people are like reverse snapping back into the hospital.
Yeah, and so the hospital's freaking out because there are patients like coming back in the beds that other people
they're like laying on top of other patients.
Funny. Like, I loved that.
And that was great because it shows a part of the ending of the blip in a way where, like, we didn't even think about it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't think about shit.
People did, though. Like, people were like, yeah, but, like, what happened when people came back? Like, and it's a nice little nod to, like, no, we get you. We know you got questions about this.
Yeah, and so they gave...
Somebody dies on the shitter.
Right. Like, if somebody blips out of the shitter, they're coming back on the shitter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
on someone's lap.
Right.
In the shitter.
I am so sorry.
Like, you can only, like, imagine.
Like, let me sneak past you.
So it was a fun little nod. And so, Monica Rambeau gets caught up and then realizes that she's been grounded. She can no longer fly. And so they're like, hey, we've got a missing persons in Westview, New Jersey. We need you to go check that out. And so she goes, of course, and that's when we meet Jimmy Woo for the first time.
Sword gets base all set up. Everything's like smooth oil machine. Just boom, they're all there.
Yeah, and so when she goes to Westview, it's just Jimmy Woo and a couple of cops.
Right.
And he's waiting there, and she gets there, and
and then they talk about it, and they talk about how all of a sudden Westview, New Jersey doesn't exist, and these cops are from Eastview.
Right, and then they get it set up in like 24 hours.
Well, right, because
we're from fucking Eastview.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, and so like they get close, and Monica walks into the hex, gets sucked in, and that's when they set everything up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everything gets set up, and that's when we meet Kat Dennings. Big titty woman. And she's in a van with a bunch
by the
of
river.
yes, and I was born by the river. Shout out to Sam Cooke.
I mean, I was shouting out to
Chris Farley.
Chris Farley.
I know. I was shouting out Sam Cooke. Yo, if you haven't seen One Night in Miami, you should really watch that movie. It's on Prime.
Yeah.
Fucking Malcolm X brings in Sam Cooke, Muhammad Ali, and Jim Brown into a hotel room, and pretty much just like
Yeah, this is the one that you were telling me about. Yeah.
and he talks to them about how like hey, look, we're all some of the most powerful black people right now.
One Night in Miami.
Yeah, One Night in Miami.
It's on Hulu.
Prime. It's on
Prime.
Prime.
Okay.
And he's like, so let's use our platforms to really talk
Okay.
about some shit. And it's just this. This is the night Muhammad Ali becomes Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Stuff. So they call him Cassius the whole like movie through.
Okay.
Another show you should watch is Servant
Servant.
on Apple Plus. It's an M. Night Shyamalan series.
Oh, that's right. I did see I saw a trailer. For
fucking bizarre.
Is
but I
it
love
good?
Okay. It's got Rupert Grint, and he's not British at all. in this.
Oh.
So it's really off-putting at first, but
Huh. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
So here's of course where Darcy comes in and she's helping Jimmy figure out what the fuck is going on. She's the one who figures out that, hey, maybe we can reach her through a radio.
yeah, right. And she starts to pick up because she picks up old TV waves.
Yeah.
I forgot what they were called.
CBR.
CBR.
No, it's cosmic microwave, cosmic
CMBR.
background
CCR,
is it CMBR?
VCR.
CMBR or
Cosmic microwave
CBMR.
Background
DER.
radio. I think.
Betamax. Laser disc.
Radiation. That's what it is. Cosmic microwave background radiation.
CMBR.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's when she grabs the TV and is just like, oh, well, this is what's going on. And she sees Wanda and Jimmy was like, is that who I think that is? And they're like, yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
And then they look over and they see that Vision's there and they're like, hey.
Isn't he dead?
Yeah, not blipped, dead.
Yeah.
Isn't he
Yeah,
fucking
like that motherfucker is toast. Yeah, so I mean, and like, of course, Kat Dennings immediately picks up on the fact that, like, so Wanda's turned this into a sitcom and all of these people into characters on her sitcom.
Well, at first, they don't know that. At first, they're just like, why is Wanda and Vision in this?
Well, yeah.
And then, yeah, in the I think it's in the next episode, they find out that Wanda's the one that's doing all of this.
Because they spits out.
Because that's when it spits out Monica Rambeau. Because at the end of the episode, that's when Monica...
Well, I mean, it says in this episode that they use these to observe events inside the town, learning that the real residents have been cast in the sitcom, and seeing Monica appear as Geraldine.
Right.
So, through that, they realize, like, Monica wouldn't be doing this unless she was being compelled to do this.
Right.
Who has the power to do that?
Right. No, but in the next episode, they talk about how, like, that's when Hayward starts to brief everyone and is like, we now realize that Wanda isn't a victim in here, but the victimizer.
The perpetrator.
Yeah.
Right.
So in the very beginning, they don't know that it's Wanda doing all of it. And then in this same episode, they find out that, yes, it's Wanda.
Yeah.
Because when Monica gets spit out, she goes, it's Wanda. It's all Wanda.
Right. And then, okay, so yeah. So, I mean...
I don't know how they didn't pick up on, because never mind. The hex isn't read at this point.
Yeah.
I'm going too far.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this is basically going on at the same time as the event of the previous episode, just from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
So, of course, here's where we get Monica booted out, and then you see her outside the hex.
Yeeted.
And there was no commercial in this one because it all took place mostly outside of the hex.
Right.
And so, episode
Five.
five.
Fiverr.
So now we're to the 80s.
This was kind of like a Full House.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, but this was the 80s and Full House was the
90s,
90s.
so I don't
Full
think...
House was like next episode.
So Charles in charge, maybe?
I mean,
Who's the boss?
to me, it's kind of hard to say because there were multiple of those that were extremely similarly styled.
Well,
you know,
it was the jazzy intro, you know, like the
Yeah, the Full House one. Yeah.
I felt like it was more Full House. So maybe it was more like...
Well,
The
but the
intro
one,
didn't really fit
the
Full
one
House, though.
after that, though, was Malcolm in the Middle, wasn't it? And Malcolm in the Middle was the early 2000s.
So did they skip the 80s?
well, no,
No.
this one's the 80s.
uh-huh.
It's actually they do say that it's early 80s, early 90s. So yeah, maybe this must have been the Full House.
Yeah, it had to have been
Yeah.
at least
Everywhere, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was really loud.
That was loud and startling.
I didn't even try to make it that loud either.
Bottom.
Look everywhere.
Never
So-
seen a full episode of Full House.
Remember that awful Fuller House?
and that motherfucker went on for like 5 seasons.
I watched a little bit of it just because
You know, the first-
Stephanie could get it.
Oh, any day.
Any day of the week.
But only if she wants to, because we at the Nerd Corporation are producers. All right, let's keep going.
Steenburgendom.
It's so stupid.
Fuck you all. Full House.
Yes, so we're in the Full House episode.
Full House episode is also a Halloween episode, right?
That's right.
No, that's the Malcolm in the Middle episode.
That's
Is
not,
it?
yeah.
Oh no, that is the
Yeah,
you're
because
right.
their kids
Yeah.
are...
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
They
this-
aged themselves up. This is the episode where Sparky gets
Yeah,
killed
this
by
is
Agnes.
the very special. This is the very
yeah.
special episode.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
They end up getting a dog, and this is the first time that Wanda uses her powers just kind of carelessly, because
Yeah.
Agnes is in the room, and she's like, "Well, this little guy's gonna need a collar."
Well, and here's where Billy and Tommy grow up.
Yeah, they age themselves
Yeah,
up
they age
from
themselves.
crying babies to
Yeah.
5-year-olds to 10-year-olds.
Yeah,
Because
at first they're
Vision-
struggling like bad with the babies constantly crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Vision's like, you guys can't be old enough to have a dog until you're 10 years old.
And then
Like,
they're like, all right,
bet.
Yeah. Say less. And and so they have this dog Sparky, right? And unfortunately, Sparky dies at the end of the episode.
Which I thought was so weird for that to be... That, like, her reasoning on how the dog died, I was like, what? Ate too many leaves.
Yeah, because she's like, he got my azaleas,
Yeah.
and this, that, and the other. So she was counting on them
They're
to not
marigolds.
know, to not know that that the flowers were poisonous.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
That was a
But-
good pull.
But really,
Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it.
It
We're
was
gonna get there.
Agatha all along.
Because
Well,
that
and they-
shit made me
So
fucking
it was
cackle,
5
dude.
years old that they aged up to, according to this.
and
Well-
then, but the second time they did it.
Well, when
to
the dog
10.
appears, they age up to
that's
10.
okay,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, there we go. All right. And then, so at work, Vision reads an email from Sword that reveals the situation in Westview.
Yeah, and that's when they first call it the Maximoff anomaly.
Yeah.
I just said "oh" into the microphone. I'm sorry. Say that again. I was like, right, because it looked like you guys were both looking on the same website, and I thought that like
We are.
maybe you like Google doc.
No, I think we're all just on Wikipedia.
Yeah, no, I'm just doing Wikipedia.
Yeah,
So,
I figured that out.
so here is where Vision reads the email on his work computer. Oh, by the way, like we didn't talk about this at all, but it's one of my little favorite things that like Vision has no fucking idea what he does at work.
No,
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that was
love
pretty
that
good.
so
What
much.
do we
But
do?
What do we produce something? Do we make something?
And I like it when
Sell
I like it
something?
when they age to in this episode in the 80s when all of a sudden they have computers and Vision's like trying to help the one guy like figure out. He's like, what is this, like a giant calculator or something? Like he doesn't even know what it is.
I love that guy so
Yeah.
much.
The guy that plays Norm. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so great. But anyway, so he reads an email talking about the situation in Westview.
Right.
With the drone.
And then, they're like, oh, it's a joke. What do we send back?
So yeah, so they're talking about the drone.
That's when he learns, and then that's when
right.
Sparky runs off.
So this is the first time where Vision zaps somebody's
Yeah.
brain, and it was Norm, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he was just like, "Hey, it really fucking hurts up here.
He's like, I have a wife and kids.
Make her stop."
Oh yeah, and Norm is just terrified
That's right. Yeah.
and in pain.
He's like, "I have a sister. I need to call her. Do you have a phone?
Yeah.
Please make her stop. Make her stop. Make her stop."
And it's cool. We don't know this yet until later, when a resident specifically says it. But like, because of the fact that Wanda is using her mind to control all these people, and she's in such torture and torment from, Vision's death and just all of her emotional grief and everything that she's going through, these residents are constantly plagued by all of these feelings and emotions, and so they're basically being tortured constantly.
Yep.
They're extensions of her.
Yeah. Like,
And so- and
it's
she-
poison. Like, what's going on in her mind is poisoning them.
Yeah.
Right, and she doesn't think that. She thinks that they are just at peace.
Yeah, she has
in
no
some
idea.
kind of like blissful state.
Yep.
The commercial for this one was Lagos paper towels.
Yes.
And so it's just a regular old paper towel commercial, right? And the liquid is red, which is part of her, which is the color of her chaos magic.
Okay.
And so the tagline for this is Lagos for when you make a mistake you didn't mean to. So
And then when the husband spills his is beer, which is like golden, ish, which is
Vision's mind stone color. So Lagos, Nigeria, was the place in Captain America: Civil War.
that's where everything went to fuck.
Yeah. So the Avengers were tracking mercenaries in Lagos that were attempting to steal a biological weapon. The leader of the group just fucking hated Captain America, right? And so he
Is that
attempts.
Crossbones, right?
Yeah, it was Crossbones, and so
Crossbones.
he attempts to take Cap out by blowing himself up when Cap catches up to him. So Wanda uses her powers to temporarily contain the blast and hurls Crossbones into the air. So what she ends up doing, though, is she ends up ramming him into a building.
Oh fuck.
And her power goes out, and the explosion takes out a piece.
And this is what starts the Civil War.
Right, yeah, and so the explosion hits the building full of civilian bystanders.
Christ.
So on top of the casualties, one of the consequences of the events there is the Sokovia Accords. So, and so the world governments draft it to demand that Avengers be allowed to operate only under the supervision of an international panel.
Yeah, basically because Wanda fucked up.
Yeah, and so...
And you make a mistake that you didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, and this is the point where Hayward, like, because at first he plays nice with Monica, and he's like, no, I knew your mom, like, yeah, it was great, cool stuff, good.
Yeah.
Like, all right. And then, like, here's where we go, oh, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, like, you're a fucking asshole.
So,
Yeah, but anyways, fuck you. I'm gunning for that bitch.
yeah, he's like, we could figure out what's going on here. Let's just try and blow the shit up instead.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just go guns blazing, see how that works out.
Yeah.
And that's when Wanda comes out of the hex for a minute and is like, no.
Don't fuck with me.
So, yeah, so picking up after the email's read, that's when Vision learns that she's controlling everything. So that's when we get the drone that causes Sparky to run off. And that's when Wanda comes out. And then Vision goes to confront Wanda about what's going on. And that's when PHO 2.0 shows up.
Yeah.
P8.0.
Yeah, Vision and Wanda are like fighting. And he's like, did you really just like make someone show up to ring the bell so we could like avoid this conversation?
Right, yeah, this is a fight
Yeah.
between those two, yep.
Right, and that's when we see Fietro.
Yeah.
Ah.
All right.
And yeah, I love it too, because it's so Evan Peters.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like who I think Evan Peters is a
Boner.
But
There was another dirty joke that had me. I'm just kidding. Yeah, the part where Vision is like
What's his name?
offered gum, and he's like
Herb.
yeah,
Herb, that's what it was.
yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, I can. It's only for mastication, so yeah, I can do that. And it was
like,
Herb's.
I don't do that.
I don't do that. And I'm like, on my good Disney Plus.
Herb gets all like,
On my Christian channel.
God, I love that moment.
So funny.
But yeah, so when you open the door, you see Evan Peters, Quicksilver, Pietro, and he's like, "What's wrong? Long lost brother can't hug his stinking sister to death?"
Yeah.
You know,
It's very Evan
it's
Peters.
very, very Evan Peters.
The cocky, like,
And it was great too because it was such like like Eddie and I being Wanda fans and Avenger fans and everything. Like personally, I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah,
me
not
neither.
even. Yeah,
Like,
that was such a
was just
pleasant surprise.
yeah, it was just out of left field.
Because
And-
for us who follow this and who know the lore and who are so like attached to these characters, we're always that nerd that's like, oh well, this is probably what's going to happen.
Especially
Yeah.
when there's an instance where you have two actors that play that same character.
Right,
like
exactly.
I forget his name, but I'll call him Kick-Ass, play
Yeah.
Quicksilver, and then later we get Evan Peters, and it's like, oh holy shit, it's the Evan Peters Quicksilver.
Right,
and especially because the thing is like one of the fun things for me is trying to figure out what direction they're going to go,
Right,
because there
exactly.
are so many that they could go, because comics get reinvented constantly,
Yeah.
and so like it's really cool seeing which direction they're going to go. And like if she's creating this reality, why wouldn't she bring back her brother at some point?
Yeah.
Right.
But like, still, I didn't see it coming, and I definitely didn't see it coming that it was going to be the X-Men
And the best part is like
version.
they totally break the fourth wall right after that, because Kat Dennings is watching the show and she goes, they recast Pietro?
Yeah.
As if, oh, that's another completely different person.
Right. Because they recast Pietro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
She said it.
like I can totally see her saying that though, because like Kat Dennings, in this show gives off the air that she's just as big of a consumer of pop culture as we are.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
and
why
she-
wouldn't she use that terminology when you're watching a television
right,
show?
and
And-
she's so engrossed in this, like,
yeah.
this series. She's
And
like,
the-
oh, I love it.
the
I want to be in it.
Quicksilver that was Kick-Ass fits in the timeline, so it makes sense that she would know that was the original Pietro.
Right, exactly. And it was just a super, super cool. And then speaking of Kat Dennings, to bring back a character like Darcy, like that was out of left field for me.
Clear
too.
back from Thor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Clear back from Thor. You know what I mean? I love that the MCU does that.
Yeah, and she and Randall Park play off each other so well.
Yeah.
So well. It definitely. So episode
Definitely.
Now
6.
we are on an all-new Halloween
Yes.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
The Malcolm in the Middle episode.
Which is one of my favorite in terms of little callbacks to like the costumes.
Right, because those were the original Scarlet Witch,
Yeah.
Vision, and
Yep.
Quicksilver
Mhm.
costumes.
I did
So
see that.
great. So great. And I like that they were still, DIY.
Yeah.
And
great.
they were different. Like Vision was a luchador.
Yeah,
instead
well,
of,
they
like,
they
Vision.
joked that they were both big fans of.
Mexican wrestlers.
Yeah.
Me gusta mucho. Chili con carne.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I love it. And this is the Malcolm in the Middle-ish episode, right? Because it comes like the intro to it.
The
is
kids
some,
are talking directly to the camera,
Mhm.
like all of that.
The intro is one of the twins picking up a camera and like walking around. And,
Yep.
like it lands on someone, so it's like a still, and that's one of the things that I love about about the intros to these episodes is that it's not Elizabeth Olsen, it's not Paul Bettany, it's Wanda Maximoff, it's Vision, it's Billy and Tommy Maximoff, it's Pietro Maximoff as himself. Like it adds to that extra
authenticity.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, when towards when this episode starts and Vision mentions that he's got to go do neighborhood watch, and Pietro's like, "Oh, I'll take the boys trick or treating," and then you see Speed just kind of like zip around, and at that second, I was like, "Bro," I was like, "That's it right there. There he is."
Speed.
Which, by the way, is a flat out lie, because Vision doesn't have to go, which we find out later.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to.
I was like, "Were you calling me a liar?"
He's being.
I saw the show.
Speed did none of that.
I saw it.
Snooper's gonna snoop.
So Vision not only has been, more and more questioning what's going on, now he's trying to sneak away so that he can really further investigate.
Yeah, then we're gonna come up on my favorite part of the whole series.
And so, once we, the kids' powers manifest or whatever, Speed's manifests first, right? And so, can I take my brother over to this? And, they're like, don't go past Ellis Avenue.
Yeah.
And they run off. And that's when we get Pietro talking to Wanda and is like, how did you do this?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not even mad. I'm impressed.
And she's like,
exactly. It's me, sis.
Yeah, he's like, hey, you could talk to me. Honestly, what, how is this possible? I would do this in a millisecond. Mom and Dad would love this place.
Yeah.
And he's like, just tell me how you did it. I'm not a stranger or your husband.
Yeah.
You can tell me.
Which is kind of fucked up in the first place.
Yeah, because we find out later that Agatha's the one controlling...
that he is a stranger.
Yeah.
So, at this point, it's kind of just Agatha kind of prodding to see how conscious Wanda is of what she's doing.
Or even if she knew how she did it.
Yeah, she's trying to gather information and figure out, okay, how did she do this? Does she know how she did it? What the fuck is her level of recognition?
He farted hard. That was fucking gnarly. That was almost as bad as an Ellie fart. And he wagged his tail too.
Have you seen the video of the dude filming his dog that farts, with the dog fucking straight up lifts its leg up in the air?
Yeah. His fucking balls ripple.
Oh god.
There's this one I saw where this dog is laying on the ground, and it starts to let out this the longest fucking fart you've ever heard. And the camera pans up, and their cat's sitting at the top of the
And
stairs.
it throws
the
up.
cat just
I love that.
Ellie used to smell her own farts. She would lean over to
Thanks.
So
Smell you smell your own farts.
So this is where which is a really cool sort of look into the background of what's going on. This is where Vision does start exploring finally.
Yes, and he goes toward the edge
and
of town.
Once he gets a certain distance away, everyone there is on fucking autopilot, which makes sense.
This was my favorite part because it's so creepily eerie that everyone's just sitting there,
creepy.
and the cinematography of everywhere that he's walking is just nothing's happening, not even in the air.
Right, there's a woman and she's hanging
and
ghost.
she's just moving her hand up and down.
Yeah, just
positions.
making the motion to hook it, but never hooks it.
Which makes sense because if you're controlling all of these minds, your focus has to be on what's going on in the immediate vicinity,
right,
where action has to be occurring.
It's kind of
why wouldn't you put the rest on autopilot?
It's kind of like video games.
Yeah,
you're only
when you
rendering,
when you glitch through where you're not supposed to go.
This is a part of what the player can see.
This is a part of town that nobody goes to, so she knows that nothing needs to actually happen.
Yeah, and it was crazy to me because the people on the edge that are moving just autonomously, they're more aware of things, because that woman that was trying to hang the thing, she's crying there's a tear coming down her face, and she's just I fucking hate it here.
It speaks to that eeriness.
Yeah, it speaks to the torture that these people are going
and
to.
here's where we also get Pietro saying where'd all these kids come from?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were in their rooms.
Were they just in their rooms and in bed until you needed them? Like, this is pretty cool. Like, good job.
Right. And so in this episode, we get the Yo Magic yogurt commercial.
Yeah, so tell me about this.
So, so a child's stranded on the island, given a snack by a shark, and he wastes away into a skeleton
Because he can't open it.
because he can't open it.
Yes.
And so a lot of these commercials, all of these commercials so far have been part of Wanda's past.
Okay.
So what this one does is it looks into the future.
Okay.
It looks into it. This one's more a commercial for Agatha than it is for everyone else, because if we remember in episode 8, they show her being tied to the stake by her coven.
Yep.
And so, in order for her to survive, she snacks pretty much on all the other witches, turns them into skeletons.
Oh, God. Okay.
Right? So, and that was the way that she was able to survive, which is why the tagline is Yo Magic, a snack for survivors.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, it appears that Agatha survives by snacking on their magic, and it could be what she has planned for Wanda.
Right.
Okay.
So here's where we get Vision going out to Ellis Avenue.
Yes, and he walks through the hex.
Yeah. Does he do that first, or does he talk? No, he talks to Agnes.
He talks. Yeah, he talks.
Yeah,
to
she's
Agnes.
in her car, just kind of playing the
role.
yeah.
Well,
that
which
she
is funny
created for
because she
herself.
fucks up. Here's and of course Vision doesn't catch it. He doesn't which is weird to me. But so they have their little he zaps her, right? They have their little conversation, and zaps her back, and then instead of continuing to sit there, in idle, if you will, like all the other characters that are out here,
Right.
she drives off.
Yeah, she does. Okie dokie, neighbor.
She drives back to town.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he was so rattled by what he just witnessed.
Yeah, no, he that's true.
But
yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. I was like, wait, hey, what's happening here? Like,
Yeah,
she
that
shouldn't
makes
be able
sense.
she shouldn't be able to do that. But yeah, so then we get Vision deciding to try and break out.
And so he walks through the hex, and then he starts dematerializing, which is the first look at the idea that maybe Vision can't leave the
And
hex.
he walks through right in front of the base of operations too. So, and what's her name? Darcy's screaming, "Fucking help him!"
Yeah.
And then they detain her, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We actually should go back to the conversation Agnes and Vision had.
Right. So
Aren't you dead?
Well, not only that, he doesn't even know what an Avenger is.
right, she goes, "You're him. You're one of the Avengers," and she's like,
I beg your pardon.
and he's like, "What? What's an Avenger?" He goes, and she starts to freak out. She's like, "Oh my God, am I dead?" And he's like, "No, why would you say that?" And she's like, "Because you are."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so she starts going fucking crazy, and that's when he
Zaps her back.
And then after that he goes back into the hex. He leaves the hex.
Well, he hasn't before he leaves though, they swap to Darcy and Jimmy trying to figure out what Hayward's up to.
Well,
Because they find out that he's been tracking.
No, in this one they
do that earlier?
They do that later, I think, because this is the part where Monica pretty much tears him a new one, and she goes, because he's ready to attack.
But because they hack his computer and they see that he's tracking Vision, and Vision's at the outskirts of town. They're like, "What's he doing?"
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
That's right. And then, but at this point, they earlier in the episode, Monica was just like, "Hey, you can't go in there. You can't attack her because Wanda's not a weapon. If she's the problem, she needs to be our solution."
Right.
And Hayward's like, "Fuck you, get out of here," and because you don't have the stomach for this job. She goes, "It doesn't."
It's also, oh hey, you also can't go in there because you won't be you when you go in there.
Right.
Well, and additionally, we still don't know Hayward's true intentions.
Right.
At this point, all we think is that, or all we know is that Hayward wants to take Wanda out and return things back to normal and release her grip on these people in this town.
Right. And so, Hayward kicks them out. They find their way back in, find out that he's tracking Vision, that they have a head count of how many people are in the city.
Which I love that they do the whole cliche, like, knock out 2 of the guards and put on their clothes. Like, I fucking love that.
It was great.
It kind of knocked me out because I was like, oh yeah, I'm watching something Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching a Marvel movie.
But,
right
like,
now.
it just doesn't seem like the thing that those 2 characters would do, but
No,
they had him do it
definitely
anyways,
not.
and I was
It's
like,
so great.
all right, I like that trope.
Well, it's nice too because like I can totally see Darcy doing that just because she is such a pop culture following person. Like, well, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's what
This
you.
is that perfect opportunity to do something I've always wanted to.
Exactly. It's great. So here, once Vision is out and he's being torn apart, is when we finally see Billy's powers.
Right, and that's because he starts to feel Vision's pain.
Yeah.
And he's like, Mom, he's hurt. There were guys with guns.
Yeah, he has a vision.
Yeah.
Ah.
He said this thing.
He had a Wandavision.
And that's when Wanda realizes that he's on the outskirts of the hex and decides to expand it.
Mm-hmm.
And when she expands it, she swallows Vision in it. She swallows the base. People are running
Turns into
away.
a circus,
Yeah,
which is
they-
so cool.
Yeah, the agents turn into
You
clowns,
might say
which
that
is so
Vision
funny.
was on the outside looking in.
Yeah, you could say that.
That's the reaction I wanted. Even better.
That was so fucking weird.
You're fucking weird.
So now we come to episode 7.
Mm-hmm. Or 7, as normal people say.
No.
In
Savant.
layman's terms.
Right.
Can you imagine? I'm sure somebody somewhere is named Savon,
Oh, yeah.
and it's spelled 7, and they're like, no, it's Savon.
It's George's kid in the French version of Seinfeld.
Stefan Urkel.
So now we're to the mid 2000s.
This
Right.
one is Modern Family.
Yes.
One of the worst shows ever.
No.
Yeah, it's
no.
so
Oh, no.
bad.
It's not my
pretty
favorite,
mad.
but I like
I'm
it.
really mad.
Yeah, it's not a bad show by any means. I never really watched it.
With everything going on, Wanda has decided to take a spa day, She's taking a personal day.
A quarantine style staycation is
Yes.
what she calls it.
Yes.
Living that single mom life.
And so Agnes, out of the goodness of her heart, says that she'll watch Billy and Tommy.
And throughout this whole time, all of the everything's fucky because she's expended so much energy.
Yeah, everything's getting glitchy and just, not only just how much energy she's expended, but think about mentally where she's at, emotionally and mentally, she's all over the fucking map now.
She's starting to realize.
She knows Vision's onto her,
Yeah.
and she doesn't know what's going on with Pietro, and she knows the army's out there trying to figure out ways to take her out, and they're getting bolder and bolder about it.
I know.
You're beautiful.
And they're
Sakura agrees.
and they're getting bolder and bolder about it. So I mean, she's all over the fucking place. Of course, she's not holding it together.
Yeah.
Let alone all the shit that was there to begin with, all of the emotional trauma and so on.
She's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised she was holding it together in the first place with her mental state.
POP, hold it down.
So yeah, her house is glitching all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So her house was built by Bethesda at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It was.
Yes.
Yes.
Damn it, Todd.
Yeah, and she's, kind of like the stork, she's having major trouble trying to control the problems.
Yeah.
And fix the problems. So here's where we get, so Vision comes to consciousness. He repairs, I guess. I don't know, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Now that the hex has been expanded, he kind of gets up and he
Self-cure.
Yeah, exactly. He recognizes Darcy because when he was, disintegrating outside of the hex,
They made
Darcy
eye
was like
contact.
right there, and they made eye contact, and Darcy was like, "What the fuck are you people doing? Help him!"
Yeah.
And they fucking handcuff her to a car, and so she can't get away. So she's sucked right in.
Yep.
As the
I
hex
love how when
expands.
it's coming to her, she's just like, "Oh fuck!" And then
I know,
it
it's
takes her.
So great.
In the subtitles, it says fudge.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
How very Christmas story.
Except
of
I
you.
didn't say
how
fudge.
very Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Ron
So-
Howard comes on. She didn't say fudge.
Another Arrested Development.
Yeah.
So so Vision sees her and zaps her out of it to figure out what's going on.
We tries to talk to her, and she's just like, "I don't know who you are, but we got to go do this show."
Oh, yeah, that's right. So she's, he's trying to talk to her at first, and she's totally in character, and she's like, "Oh, you must be the new whatever guy."
You must be the new clown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look exactly like a clown.
Yeah.
So he releases her from the spell. They talk about Vision's death and the events that led to what's currently going on.
Then the dynamic duo is created.
Yes, yes.
I love
And the ice cream
those two
truck.
working together.
Was it an ice cream truck? It was an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
No,
stole
it was funnel cake.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
I knew they
It said funnel of love.
Oh, great.
another little callback.
Yeah.
So then we cut to outside of Westview,
Right.
outside of the barrier, and
Meanwhile, outside the barrier.
Meanwhile, inside Meg Griffin's bra.
meanwhile in the Hall of Super Best Friends.
3 different fucking references.
Or back at the ranch. You can see that too. Okay, so Monica and Jimmy are talking about, getting some
Armored truck.
armored, like, fuck you truck.
It's like a moon
Like
rover,
yeah,
isn't
like,
it?
like it's supposed to be like the heaviest duty, like
Yeah.
motherfucking fuck your mother.
Built for tough.
Yeah, Bill Barton, whatever. And so anyway, was it here that they were talking about it, or was it in a previous episode where they were on Hayward's computer? Oh, that's right. So in the previous episode on Hayward's computer, they looked Monica up, and Darcy could see that Monica's
Blood
DNA
work,
was changing
Mm-hmm.
from going into the hex. And, they're also talking about going back in, and Darcy's like, I don't think you can. Like, your DNA is fucking changing, man.
Yeah, like you've been altered at a molecular level.
You've
and
been
who
hexed.
Right.
Nah.
And who knows what would happen if you were
did
to
it again.
if you were to go in again.
Yeah. So, that's why they're after this big truck that's going to shield her, supposedly, hopefully,
Yeah,
cross your
their
fingers.
plan is just to crash through it
Yeah.
if they can.
Yeah, and hopefully things will work out. Of course, they don't.
Right.
They did
do,
not.
They do not. And it's kind of cool because the truck, upends. Like, she just floors it into the wall, and it eventually kind of upends as the tires are spinning against the ground, and the truck's, fucking straight up. And then it kind of starts to go through and then gets spat the fuck out.
Yeah.
And the front of the truck is...
It's like a station wagon, isn't it?
It's kind of like a van, like an old.
Oh
Astro
yeah,
van type
yeah,
deal.
with the wood paneling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the back of it is still it. And so when that's unsuccessful, she's like, you know what? Fuck this, and trucks it in anyway.
Yeah, and goes in there.
I wish she would have driven that Moon Rover minivan hybrid, like, and just like, I'm going in.
In the commercial for this one, this was, I believe this is the final commercial for the season, and we get Nexus, the antidepressant. The woman in the ad is, quote, feeling depressed and like the world goes on without her, right? Which is describing what Wanda kind of feels like throughout the whole episode. And according to the commercial, Nexus works to anchor you back to your reality or the reality of your choice. The tagline for this is Nexus, because the world doesn't revolve around you, or does it?
Yeah.
And it may cause you to be more depressed.
Right. And so
And side effects include more depression.
Right. So in the comics, the nexus of all realities is a gateway, like a mystical gateway that links every dimension.
Yeah,
that
it's
exists.
like where they all connect.
And so because WandaVision is setting up elements for Doctor Strange, in the multiverse of madness, it wouldn't be surprising that the series introduces something similar in the MCU.
Dude, I was in the middle of watching that trailer you posted when you said it was fan made.
Yeah, dude.
And like right as I got to the end, I was just like,
That would have been so dope.
yeah.
Stupid. I need to like block that channel because it shows up for me all the time, and I always get.
Because like the screen goes black, and then you just hear, "My name is Dr. Hugo Strange, and I would like to ask you a few questions." And you're just like, "Wait, what?"
So when Monica goes through,
Yeah. So, Scarlet Witch in the comics is one of the rare individuals known as a Nexus being.
yeah,
Okay.
So it was, and this was explained to Agatha in a 1990 issue of West Coast Avengers. So this means the Scarlet Witch is one who belongs equally to all possible timelines and realities and divergences.
Which the West Coast Avengers are the more chill, laid back stoner Avengers.
Right? Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
the
surf a lot.
hood.
Yeah.
So basically, comic book Wanda is like a uniquely powerful figure in her reality who affects the stability of the multiverse.
Okay.
So,
House of M.
yeah, right.
Yeah, so she's not just like your typical like superhero like Captain America or Iron Man. She's like
Right, no, and
It's kind of a big deal.
yeah, she's actually one of 5 of the most powerful beings in the Marvel universe, period.
Okay.
Not the cinematic, not the comic, just the Marvel universe itself.
Okay.
She's one of the most powerful beings. And, yeah, so, I forgot where I was going with that.
You were just explaining the Nexus.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right, and so that's the commercial.
So Monica gets through, and her eyes are all weird and bluey, sparkly, lightningy, whatever.
So she got powers from going through that.
This is where the show is deriving her powers from. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
it's changing. Like she's
Because
changed.
I thought it was weird how she just like had powers.
Oh yeah,
Right.
no.
And
That's
it's
why
just the
they
hex-
explain that
The hex,
you're being changed on a molecular level, yada yada yada.
Okay.
So yeah,
It's
that's
the radiation.
that's what going through the hex is doing to her,
Okay.
according to the visual storytelling that's happening in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
So she then goes to confront Wanda, right? But
Yes.
Agatha's right there,
Mm-hmm.
and so Agnes is right there, and she's like, "Look."
cat's out of the bag already.
Agnes is like, you need to fuck off, all right? Like, this isn't cool, go away.
Yeah.
And this is when basically Wanda goes to figure out where the boys are. She goes over to Agnes's house, and she's like, where are the boys? And of course Agnes plays it off like, oh, they're probably just, playing some down in the basement.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, go find them.
Please go in the basement.
One thing that I kind of liked, it was during the Modern Family episode where the boys were like, our game's freaking out.
Yeah.
I fucking love
Yeah.
this little thing where they were playing Wii, and then they were playing GameCube, and then they were playing Atari. I fucking loved
It
that.
went
little-
back like
Uno.
exactly.
Yeah.
I loved that little attention
Yeah.
to detail. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was like the whole thing was just really great. I mean, but yeah, so here's where we get Wanda going down to the basement to find the boys.
What does she find?
Uh-oh.
She doesn't find the boys.
But meanwhile, Monica is hanging out with Evan Peters in his
Snoop
bedroom.
gonna snoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's that's during the ending credit scene.
Of the last one, yeah. Well, it's great too because like, I love how she goes to the run to the window. Like you think you're gonna beat a speedster to the window?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
He
could let you get this far away from the window,
Yeah,
and he would still get there first.
Exactly. But yeah, so.
What about when the town was like blocking Vision and the girl from getting back?
Oh yeah, that was another great part. I loved that so much.
Which one?
Where Vision and
They're in the funnel of love.
Yeah, they're in the funnel.
Oh
cake
right,
truck.
yeah.
They're trying to get back.
Oh
to
yeah,
town.
and all the
lights are taking forever.
Construction team shows
the
up,
construction team shows
and then
up.
the school.
The light won't change. The school kids show up and I love that. I love so much that they cut to that interview with Vision and he goes, "Wait, what the fuck am I doing?"
Yeah, yeah.
Why am I fucking talking to you?
That was such a nice little comic relief.
Yeah, I love that. Like, he knows what's going on, but he still can't help but get sucked into the story again.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
he's like sitting in his director's chair and his like legs are crossed, and he's like, "Wait, what am I talking to you for?"
I love that so much, and he just cruises off, and Cat
Yeah.
Dennings is like, "All right, I guess."
And he's like sitting in front of the truck too. Like it's just they just took a break to interview him.
Yeah. I love how Cat Dennings is just like, "All right, fuck me, I guess."
Yeah, I'll
Like,
see you
I'll
later.
Bye. But yeah, and so this is when she goes to find the boys, and Agnes, eventually pops down there and is like, "By the way, I'm Agatha."
It was Agatha all along.
It was me.
And I killed Sparky too.
Dude, I cackled. That shit was so funny.
Dude,
By the way, Catherine Hahn could kind of get it too.
Any day of the week.
You know what I
also.
mean?
I was waiting for the end, but I just want to say it now because I have it fresh in my head, but I'm super happy that Catherine Hahn got this substantial
Dude,
of a role.
I mean, she has deserved shine for so long.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So-
She is,
Even like she was for a while for me. She was just like, oh, she plays the really funny, vulgar like character in every show, and I knew her name, and then I forgot it, because when you look it up, I wonder what else she's been in, and like her in Step Brothers was
that was the first thing I ever saw her in was
Me
in
too.
Step Brothers.
was
And
the
then
first
she
thing.
was
She's
in,
peeing in the urinal. Stay golden, pony boy.
she was
That was so fucking classic.
she was in The Goods,
Oh,
and
that's right.
she keeps trying to have sex with Rob Riggle's character, who's like a adult
I just want to
child.
roll you up like a little ball and stick
Stuff
you in my vagina.
And every time I
felt a tickle.
felt a tickle, I would just know it would be your hair tickling my vagina.
I love her so much, and to see her get such a prominent role,
and knock it out of the fucking park.
oh my
God.
god, it is
She's got that Steven Tyler mouth too.
She
That
did
big
an
mouth, though.
interview with Seth Meyers, and I think it was Seth Meyers.
Oh, as in the black and white?
No,
No, like an
Oh,
actual.
wait, no, that's right.
like an actual interview.
Well, no, I know, but I was just thinking of a different one because Wanda
right.
did what's her fucking name?
Jimmy Kimmel. Oh no, Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Craig Kilborn.
Craig that's a name I have not heard
Craig Ferguson.
in many years.
Yeah, dude.
But
But
anyway,
yeah.
she did an interview, a late night interview, but they did it black and white and everything
Yeah.
like that. But anyway, that was what's her fucking real name?
Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, no, she
Which,
did.
by the way, some people are now just finding
I
out that she's
know.
related to Mary Kate and Ashley.
Right? Like that's
What? She
Hey,
looks
sure.
exactly like him.
I know.
except healthy.
Yeah.
Not anorexic.
Except she doesn't look as much like a gelfling. Yeah, there we go.
So it's funny. She was doing this interview with Seth Meyers. I think it was Seth Meyers. I'm not completely sure, but she was just talking about how crazy it was that she was part of something so big because of the way, like, they had the whole show lined out for her. Like, she wasn't getting weekly scripts. She wasn't...
Oh,
like,
wow.
So
she got to know...
Exactly.
That is so cool.
So they had her in mind from the start?
Yeah, like,
well, so, and that's cool, too, because, like, that seems so on brand because, you know, Agnes or Agatha is the one who's pulling the strings the whole time. So it's really cool that she knew the whole story the whole time.
Yeah, she did.
That is so great. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and so she was just talking about how it was crazy that she had become part of something so big, even though it was something as small as a TV show on Disney Plus. But the way that they brought her in was like, she said it was like going into like Quantico or some shit, like, because it was like, it was so super secret, like in biometric type shit.
Parks and Rec, she's on that too.
Yeah.
She was good on that.
And I'm happy that she gets that kind of shine, because she's such an underrated actress.
Yeah, she deserves it so much.
Yeah, so shout out to Catherine Hahn.
We know you're a listener.
Yeah, and we love you very
You're one of
much.
our patrons, I believe, isn't she?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
oh yeah. This is also where we find out that Pietro is her.
Is her puppet.
Yeah.
Ralph Boner.
Yeah.
Boner.
I love that he makes a dick joke about his own name.
Yeah.
Well, what's her name? Monica made it.
No.
She goes, your name is Ralph Boner?
Yeah. And
Well, but like she just was like she didn't think it was funny. She just She said
he was the one that was like Boner.
But then she rips his necklace off, and he's like,
See, and I wonder about that necklace though. I do. Like, is that Agatha controlling him, or is there like an entity inhabiting the necklace? Because everyone's like, oh, Mephisto maybe.
Right.
Like, I wonder if it still could be.
Yeah, everybody's talking about how Mephisto could be in the necklace, how Mephisto could be her rabbit, which is like...
Yeah.
Which and I think that the rabbit is just her...
Mr... I can't remember.
I can't remember. But,
my favorite
Mr.
Marvel
Snuggles.
character.
Yeah, no.
Isn't it? Oh, no, Mr.
Bubbles.
Scratchy or Scratchers?
Oh, that's kind of close, I think.
Scratchy?
Scratch.
it's 2 S's.
Sir Scratchy. No? Something like that. Anyway, so to me, I think that's her familiar. That's her, like her Patronus.
Like her cat.
Well,
yeah.
And so also, not only do we find out Agatha's a witch, which to me was not the surprise of the episode.
Right.
Senior Scratchy.
Senior Scratchy, that's right.
I Googled, like, Sir, and then the first result that came up was Robin from How I Met Your Mother's Dog, Sir Scratchy One.
So, because I knew who she was already.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was aware of that. What was, to me, the big reveal was the book.
Yeah.
The Darkhold.
Yeah.
And, because everybody was freaking out about what the book could be. And, I mean, which really pissed me off, because the second that episode came out, Nerdist put out an article saying, what was that book? Which pissed me off, because
it's fucking Nerdist, fake ass Nerdist.
Wait, what book? God damn it!
Thank God I had literally just barely watched the episode before I saw that article pop up, because the second I read that, that's the spoiler right there.
Yeah.
Like, just that title is the spoiler. Because there are only 2 options. It's either going to be the Darkhold, or it's going to be her grimoire.
Yeah. And the
And
Darkhold,
even if you hadn't seen it and read it, you're like, oh fuck, I know it's one of those 2 now.
Yeah, and I was, and so, I commented and was like, thanks for the spoilers, jackass. And this guy was like, well, what? That's not the spoiler. It could be a cookbook. It could be a dictionary.
Oh,
it could
right.
And I was like,
Fuck's
you
sake.
dumb fuck, you don't know anything.
Could be a nudie mag.
it could be a book that catalogs your need to fuck off, because that is just fucking...
First of all, if it wasn't something that was a big fucking deal, would they have made an article about it?
Yeah.
It's not going to be just some random goddamn book, you loon.
It's not a cookbook, okay?
What did you guys think of that the in the background on the end table? What was that all about?
It could have been a
That'll
book
please your man?
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not what...
It could-
It's the
it could
latest
have been-
copy of Cosmo.
It could have been a book on Grab-On.
Right.
But like,
Grab one of these nuts.
God damn it.
but like, I was like, you know what? Like, honestly, and I don't mean this as a diss, like, I would love to be ignorant enough of the source material that the Agatha reveal was the reveal to me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. The book was the reveal.
Right.
And the fact that they put that in the title,
right.
That's the spoiler. Like,
so like the Darkhold is like I guess you could say it could be like a magical Necronomicon.
yeah, I mean,
I figured there was some dark shit with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's used also as a way to summon Mephisto.
Mephisto.
My fist, though.
My favorite guy, Mephistos.
It could have been a book on dragons.
Mephistos.
He's basically just the devil, right? Like Beelzebub.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
You're a big dummy.
But yeah, no, like Marvel has all sorts of classical literature and classical mythology elements that come into it, like Thor, of course, you know, and even Hercules is in Marvel Universe, and so yeah, of course they're gonna have those sort of Christian mythological elements as well. Like the Darkhold is a big fucking deal. In fact, it's already shown up in the Marvel. It's shown up in Marvel television, but
it's the Book of the Damned, isn't it?
More or less.
I mean, but so the other place it's shown up though is not technically part of Marvel Cinematic Continuity. It showed up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
Right? So one of the scientists uses the Darkhold to bring... So this is the guy who basically, at least in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., created the LMDs, the life model decoys. And he creates one called Ava and uses the Darkhold to basically try and give her, like, real humanistic life.
Okay.
And so, yeah. So we've already seen the Darkhold. So everybody was like, I don't think it's the Darkhold. I don't know. It's probably just a grimoire. But that's not part of the continuity. So it totally made sense to me. Like, I figured it could be the grimoire, but I didn't think that was...
Yeah, I thought it was the Darkhold far before I ever thought it was going to be the grimoire.
Like, it was way more likely.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, this is where we see the Darkhold for the first time, and holy shit!
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, dude, I had the biggest fucking nerd boner at the end of that episode.
Oh my God.
Not only for the Agatha reveal, but for the Darkhold.
Oh yeah.
And we come to the last episode.
Yeah. No. Previously on. So this is where it goes into Agatha's backstory.
Ah, gotcha. Yes.
Not only Agatha's backstory, but also Wanda's backstory. I forgot.
I was like, also, are you asking me to finish the sentence?
No,
I don't.
Right.
And we also see the real Vision's body.
Yes. This is where we kind of see
he goes full Watchman.
Yeah, this is what you were talking about, Cole. Like, this is where we see what happened to Wanda directly after Vision's death and the fallout from that.
Yeah.
Cut this part out, but did we already get White Vision at this point? Or is that...
This is where we get...
Okay.
Yeah.
This episode ends with
that. Yeah, okay.
Right.
as opposed to Black Vision.
This is Negavision.
Mr. Negative.
Dangerously close to something else.
What's his name?
I can't remember what his name. I can't remember.
I'm blanking too. So this episode we cut back to Salem, 1693, which is Agatha's origin. Like, she was, like, her original backstory was that she was one of the Salem witches that, she was like one of the original witches there.
And it's crazy because that year was the year of the Salem witch trials.
Yeah, and so basically the Coven of Witches decides to execute her for practicing dark magic, which she then, of course, uses dark magic against them.
eats all of them.
They did not see that coming for
She
some
yo
insane
magics them.
reason. Yeah. So yeah, she steals all their magic.
She
magics
pulled
them.
that. She pulled that no you.
That Uno reverse card.
Yeah, the Uno reverse.
But so she drains all their life forces, which I'm sure is part of what gave her, this continuous life. I mean, maybe it's just magic from the Darkhold, but
Could be.
I mean, I'm sure that.
I mean, she took the life force of what was it, 6 witches, and that was 400 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and then so.
Or no, yeah, you're right. 400.
So here.
Actually.
Stop
Now-
getting upset.
Now that Agatha's revealed herself, now she's just straight out saying, "Tell me how you fucking did this. I want to know how you fucking did this." And so, Wanda's like, I don't fucking know. So this is where we get like you were saying, Cole, like this is where we start to see Wanda's backstory. Agatha starts forcing her to relive all of these moments. And so you see her go to reclaim Vision's body and all of that jazz.
Which I love because it was just like this crazy little like Frankenstein room where they're just taking him apart.
Like all the pieces were apart, but they were in relevance to where it would be on his body.
Exactly.
And this is also where they were talking about how he's too expensive.
Yeah, like we can't just let you
Like
bury
we
billions of dollars.
we get that he was yours, but he really wasn't yours.
You can say goodbye, but you can't take him.
Yeah.
You can say goodbye, but you can't stay
Didn't he
here.
say it was $3 billion worth of technology?
Yeah, he's like, you can't just bury $3 billion worth of vibranium.
And other cool thing, this is where Agatha basically starts telling Wanda, like, no, you're a fucking witch. You're using magic. Like, you're not just some mutant with powers. You just have this innate ability to use spells with no formal training and knowledge.
Yeah.
And
you are the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, and this is where she goes, you've had this.
You're using chaos magic.
Yeah, like you've had this all along. Like when you were a kid and your parents died in the Sokovia, all these wars, and she's like, no, it's just that this, the bomb just didn't go off.
It was a dud.
Yeah, it was just a dud. And she was like, no, you used a probability spell.
The Sokovia Explodia. I was sitting on that one for a minute.
Fuck off.
It kind of reminds me of just, like the old Wile E. Coyote cartoons where they just show the fake Latin name underneath it. Sokovia Explodia.
Fuck out of here.
Which is really So,
God damn it, you're so stupid.
That's a quality joke.
It's funny. Yeah. All right.
But that line was also funny. It was another callback.
It was.
We've been doing lots
That's
of
true.
those.
That's true. So, but yeah, no, so that's, she's like, you used a probability spell. Like, you didn't fucking know it, but you did. Like, you made that bomb not go off.
You rolled a nat 20 on your perception check.
Exactly. Exactly. And
That kind of hurt, dude. Those are weapons.
of course, Wanda's like, no, you're fucking stupid. Shut up.
You're so stupid.
You're so stupid. But, so anyway, then, this is also the episode where we see the experiment
Yeah,
with
so
the Mind Stone.
what is that staff? Is Loki's staff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Loki's scepter.
Okay.
And that's why he was able to control people when he
Because
would
he had
touch
the
them
Mind
with
Stone.
it, because that cube has the Mind Stone.
I was wrong. I call it the Foresight Stone
No, you called Visions the Force.
because that's
Well, it is.
Vision.
It's the
that's
same.
Vision Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I
Mind
call it the Foresight
No,
Stone.
you didn't.
The Foreskin Zone.
Foreskin Zone? All right. So, and the Mind Stone, so like, she always had magic, but it was, much weaker, which I don't know how I feel about that, considering like that she is the Scarlet Witch and she's this big bad powerful person, but
So
she would have been the Scarlet Witch, but just a weak pussy ass Scarlet Witch unless she touched the mind.
Scarlet bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
So
like
what
dumb.
what was like her name before like everything? Because she didn't go
Wanda
by
Wanda
Maximoff.
Maximoff.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's just her name.
She
She's
just
gone
didn't
by.
go by Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, she just didn't go by Scarlet Witch.
Okay.
And one of the things I didn't really
So
like.
she just didn't have a cool superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanda.
One of the things that I didn't like that was revealed super soon for me was the fact that Agatha was like, "You're stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the Sorcerer Supreme is Doctor Strange.
Okay.
And because Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is supposed to bring in like the Scarlet Witch and in all her glory or whatever. So I would have rather them.
See, I mean, I don't mind it because of the fact that yes, she's stronger than him, but and I think I actually said this in a comment online one time too, because like we were just discussing the difference between Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange, and
Okay, but
and I was like, well, that's cool that she's strong, but she's undisciplined, and if you can be strong and that's great, but if you have years and years of training, you're gonna win it. You're just gonna win. You're gonna win.
but who would win in a fight? Goku or One Punch Man?
One Punch Man.
That's what it sounded like he was comparing the two.
Because I was like trying to understand who would actually win.
Did
I
we?
don't know.
This one punch
No, dude, no.
No, the
Goku,
Spirit Bomb.
bro. Goku.
No.
Goku is a god.
Look what I've done.
Have you never seen Super Saiyan God mode?
Yeah. I don't
No.
care. Saitama would fuck him up. I'm just saying he would.
Look, I'm just saying.
Saitama just
'cause-
worked out for like, what was it, 3 months?
No.
Or not less than that. even.
Yeah, but I mean, he's.
Pussy can't even grow hair.
I'm just saying, Goku has to build up to God mode. He doesn't start off the
Don't
fight.
think Saitama did the same fucking thing?
Yeah, but he's already at 100% now. So if they were to fight right in the beginning, One Punch will fuck his shit up.
Look, I'm just saying that more.
No,
often-
because
for God's sake.
during the time that it would take Saitama to
I have
get
to go to
there,
bed in like an hour.
Goku would have fought all of the
We're
lesser
almost done.
Thank God we're
heroes
doing this on
and warmed
Saturday.
up by the time Saitama finally showed
It
up.
doesn't matter to me.
You're Batman
What's-
prep timing me right now.
What's the
Batman prep
what's
timing me right now.
What's the bicycle?
Moomin Rider?
Look, I'm just saying that.
And Genos.
I'm just saying
Goku
that
would have been fine.
more often than not, training and knowledge is going to beat out just power that you don't know what to do with.
Right.
We also failed to mention the runes in Agatha's basement.
Yeah, that's true. So Wanda in the basement in the last episode tried to attack Agatha and couldn't, and Agatha, your classic dumbass villain, explained why.
Only the witch who cast the runes can use her magic here.
You see these runes? Don't memorize them. Don't you fucking turn this around on me later.
Yeah.
But
But weren't they her own runes, though? Because they look different.
Agatha's runes. So that
Yeah, so Agatha's runes were different, though.
they're
well,
purple.
well, yeah. I mean,
No, they were the same
they
symbols.
were the same symbols.
Oh, were they?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah. So anyway, we'll come back to that in just a moment. But yeah, no, like the whole thing is just like I don't mind the fact that she said that she's powerful. I just mind the fact that there's a whole section of the Darkhold dedicated to you, but you wouldn't have been powerful at all. You'd have been weak as fuck
Yeah.
until you touched the Mind Stone, which who knows if that ever would have happened. It was a freak occurrence.
Right.
That's the only part that bothered me, really. So, moving on.
You heard it here first, folks. Derek says that Doctor Strange can take the Scarlet Witch.
At this point,
Yeah.
I think she could.
Easy.
Or he could, excuse me.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah, he could.
Don't you misgender the dog.
You know what?
That's it. We're canceled.
No, just Derek's canceled.
We have to cancel ourselves.
We're finished!
But yeah, no, so, yeah, and then, of course, this is where she pronounces, like, you use chaos magic, like, you don't cast spells, like, you're not over here chanting Latin, you just fucking produce things out of nothing. Like, you're the Scarlet Witch.
How do you do it?
Now, then I was like, she said that thing.
I know.
She said that thing.
Say it's not true.
And then, yes, mid-credit scene is where we get White Vision.
Which I think is called the Anti-Vision.
No, I mean, like, there is a White Vision, but he's got a totally different name.
I think a cool name is, instead of Negavision, I think it like Negative Vision.
Mephisto.
It's kind of a mouthful, but also Mephisto.
I thought a good name was Hearing or Smell.
And then we get hearing.
Taste.
Then we get taste.
That was
Touch.
Well,
was
I mean,
good.
I thought, like, you know, if it's vision, I thought maybe his counterpart should be like glaucoma.
Everyone meet astigmatism.
My arch nemesis,
Or
Stevie Wonder.
Or just straight up blind.
Was it mainframe?
No. I can't remember.
Anyway.
So, yes, so that's the end of the penultimate episode.
Is he made out of
It's
vibrator
Vibrator metals?
It's Vision's
made-
That
body.
said, the
He's
White
made
Vision,
out of his body.
the White Vision of the
Oh.
comics dubbed the Anti-Vision.
Oh.
So when he
swear to God,
flies
he had a
away,
different
he
name.
is essentially Vision again.
Yeah, he's just
Because
a
he
bunch of
put-
vibrators put together.
I
and-
figured that's why he was married to a really hot chick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We joked. We joked that he's just like one of those fuck machines. Like the cranks. But he doesn't have a dick, so it's just...
Now they just built
his hand like
Westview's
Guinness.
world's first sex doll.
Mephisto.
Damn it, Piggy, that was a good bit!
She was like, you stop talking bad about them!
We're leaving that one in.
Okay, so, on to the finale.
Yes.
Which some people are kind of disappointed with.
Yeah, fuck them.
Who's mad?
Some
Because
people
it
that have
didn't
never
meet their-
seen the source material.
Because it didn't meet their unrealistic
I think
expectations.
part of it was
Well,
the fact
I
that
wouldn't say they were unrealistic necessarily. It just didn't go the very specific way that some of them wanted it to
well,
go.
there was also some people hyping up it like a lot. Like, did you see that picture with Kevin Smith?
I don't think so.
Where he's like in tears.
He posted a picture of him crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I've watched it 4 times.
I mean, it was an
it's so
emotional
great.
episode.
Oh no, it touched something in me, and I don't even fucking care about these movies.
It was
like,
the
I
vibrators,
thought
wasn't it?
it was.
The
It
vibrators.
was $3 billion worth of vibranium metal.
The vibrators touched something in you, didn't they?
Where did they touch you?
His colon.
Show us on. Show us.
No, the prostate.
Go to the mega gay zone.
Show us on the doll where they touched you.
My prostate. But I thought it was fucking a really good ending, and obviously we'll get to it. But like, I feel like that was kind of the reason why some people is because there were some people on there going like, and not only that, some people got it like way earlier than others. Like there was this moment where for some reason Kevin Smith is posting this picture at like fucking 3:00 in the morning. And I was like, bro, the fucking episode's not even out yet. How do you know this shit? Like,
Because it's Kevin
fucking
Smith, yeah.
well, yeah, but
Well, they air at like 1 a.m, don't they? Like,
no, I thought they aired like in the middle of the day.
No, I
they're-
watched mine in the morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I watched mine Friday.
Yeah,
morning.
they're up like right off the bat.
well, my theory didn't pan out, and I wasn't all up in arms about it. I thought that they were gonna make Wanda have to kill Vision, being Anti-Vision, like kill him all over again.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to happen. I thought Doctor Strange was going to show up.
I made a joke. I was
Because of
like,
that stupid fucking trailer.
Right?
Homie Vision has lived and died like 4 times now.
Well, and that became a really beautiful moment of the episode too.
Yeah.
But anyway, so at this point, so the series finale takes place. Agatha is trying to steal Wanda's magic, gets interrupted by Vision to crush Wanda into brain dust, I guess.
So, when fake Vision attacks not fake Vision.
Anti-Vision.
Yeah,
you can just call it, conditional Vision or Vision. And we'll just call it anti-Vision, anti-Vision.
Or white Vision.
Yeah.
Negavision.
So
Glaucoma.
when shampoo Vision attacks conditioner Vision.
Anyways, when they're in
out of here.
Shampoo is better.
Vision knows better.
What you looking at, Swan?
Fuck out of here.
We're never gonna fucking finish.
So
We're at the end.
This is the worst one
At
yet.
the end. We're getting there. We're getting
So
I love it.
hang on. Oh, okay. So when they're like in the two Visions are like in the
Duking it
library shortly
Oh.
after. Was it a library or like town hall or
It
something?
was,
Town hall, I think.
Yeah, because they're like up in the little dome.
So I almost called him Negavision.
I know.
Okay. Anti-Vision is squeezing Wanda's head. Vision, the other Vision, stops him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they duke it out in the library or whatever. And
well, because don't they do? I mean, they duke it out outside for a while.
yeah,
For a while.
but during the time that they're in the library, and Vision is like, you don't have to do this, like you don't.
I'm not the
understand, like,
real Vision.
Well, and this is so cool. I
Well,
love,
so
I
hang
love
on,
this
hang
whole
on.
part.
So, and he's like, yeah, I'm not Vision. And Anti-Vision is like, care to elaborate? I thought that they were going to take this turn where...
I request elaboration.
Is that not what I said?
No, you said I care to elaborate.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Come again?
I thought that they were going to take it away where, like, Anti-Vision was going to kill himself or self-destruct.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, too.
Because it was going to be like some weird like loophole in his AI and be like just fucking
But
No,
yeah,
but
spontaneously combust.
he's Vision, so it's like
well,
they
it's-
were able to like kind of
It's
talk
so
to each
it's
other.
so great, and it's so on brand for that character to, instead of physically fighting, to logic the fuck out of himself.
Right. It was
Like,
such a good. It was such a
perfect.
Good. It
So-
was such a beautiful little nod to who Vision is as a character.
Lawyer.
Yeah.
Cole and I
Wired.
Cole and I were joking that it was like Michael Fassbender versus Michael Fassbender from Alien.
Do you remember that part where it's like
We went
weirdly
to the movies.
sexually tense?
Oh.
Like,
They almost
in
fucking
Covenant.
like kiss each other. Dude.
yeah, they're playing
Are we
fucking
about to
flute.
do it?
Yeah, I was like, this is really
Perfection.
Are we?
Yeah.
Are we gonna kiss right now?
Should we?
Well, and but
I
it
wouldn't
does
be
it
against
does
it.
play to who Vision is as a character because Vision's driven by directives. You know, he has those things that where he's like programmed. to
Yeah,
do
and
something.
he's been tasked to kill the Vision.
Right.
And that
If he's not
conditional
the
Vision isn't Vision. He's Vision. So it made sense in my head that he would like self-destruct.
Well,
That's
and
what I
it's,
thought
and it's
too,
cool too because like this is also not just Vision trying to change the mind or the goal of Anti-Vision. He's also working through it himself.
Yes, exactly.
Like this is all new information for him. Like I'm kind of not real.
Anti-Vision. Anti-Vision.
I know, right? So, and meanwhile, we've got Agatha just absolutely fucking with Wanda and, one by one, releasing residents of Westview from her control.
And this is where she realizes that she's hurting all
Yeah.
of these people.
This
Dottie comes out of character as Sarah, and she's like,
like
my daughter has been trapped in
I
her
haven't
room
seen
this
my
whole
daughter
time
for months.
and when you think that we're sleeping, we're like having your freaking nightmares.
We're living your nightmares.
Yeah.
And so, Wanda's being hit with all of this, and Agatha's like, so what are you gonna do? Are you gonna be the hero and release them and lose your family?
And so she does. She ends up opening up the hex and letting all the people out. But as the hex is opening during the visions fighting, you start to see conditional vision deteriorating.
And the twins.
And so she closes it back up. They have that one final duke out where, you know, conditional vision shows anti-vision what's up, and
well, and Sword gets in while the barrier is down, or, you know, there's a break in the barrier, I guess, is really more a better way of saying it, because it didn't go away completely. It just sort of had
split
openings. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they get in, and they basically go to get to them as soon as they possibly can and are ready to kill everyone. At least, you know, everyone that they see as the threat.
Right. And then and now Agatha and Wanda are fighting, and Wanda's just throwing everything she's got at Agatha. And, you know, Agatha's taking it, and she's missing a few, hitting the walls of the hex. And Agatha
she's like absorbing everything too.
She's absorbing everything. You start to see Wanda become this like skeleton.
Well, and first when she starts to take some of Wanda's magic, like her left arm?
Yes, her left arm.
I think her left arm is all, you know, black and decrepit.
Yeah. And so when Agatha goes for that final blow, she can't. And she starts to look around, and she sees that Wanda has created runes around the hex.
Giant runes.
She's like, thanks for the lesson, homie.
Yeah. So, you know, she takes Agatha down, and as her punishment, she gets to be Agnes forever.
The nosy neighbor.
Yeah.
Okie dokie, artichoke.
Well, and the cool thing, too, is when Sword goes to shoot the twins, Monica Rambeau gets in front of them.
Yeah.
And basically
just photons all the bullets.
Absorbs the bullets, but they come out of her and then just fall to the ground.
And then you see Wiccan,
and
too.
then, Wiccan stops a bullet, and
there's a cute little moment
give
where
each
they're
other
like,
a little-
nice powers. You too.
Yeah.
Right back at you.
Yeah. And like, so Agatha's dropped down, and they still have to deal with Sword, and they do the badass fucking family superhero pose, which I thought was just
there were so many superhero landings in these last couple of episodes.
Yeah, Speed goes and snags all the guns, all that jazz, you know. But yeah, and then so once Agnes is taken care of, Agatha is taken care of, it's time to come to terms.
Yeah. And this part made me fucking tear.
Dude, I was like, tough. It was tough.
No one to know.
I want to know. No, baby, no.
I'm not ready.
No, Billy, no. Tommy.
She wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready.
No.
No.
No. No, I didn't know.
Yeah, and it was, it was so heavy too, because she puts the kids to bed, and what's the line? What does she say?
You make me
like
thanks for letting me be your mom.
Yeah, thanks for choosing me to be your mom. And oh god.
And then you don't like. There's when the hex is closing. There's like no scene showing them getting closed in on. Like that's just
it's just out in the background. And this is where she tells Vision who he is, because he asks her. He goes, "Before we go, I need to know, who am I?" And she says, "You are
the part of the Mind Stone that lives within me."
Yeah, you are my pain. You are my love. You are my everything. And Vision is like, you know, he's just like, he takes it in and he goes, "Well, I've been this. I've been that. We've said
goodbye several times.
We've said goodbye several times already. What?
So it stands to reason
that we'll say hello again."
Yeah.
And so cute.
Yeah.
God, it was amazing. I loved it so much.
He said, "So long, my darling," or "So long, my love,"
and then he fucking died
again
for like the 5th time.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's dead.
And Yeah, it was definitely like a tearjerker of a scene.
It was really good. I like that scene a lot, to be honest.
It was just
Well, and then also we get a mid-end credit scene and then an end credit scene.
right. We hold on, I'm pulling up what the things are.
Which you, Derek, had to enlighten me on.
So
Let's bring it home.
So we've got end credit scenes.
Right.
Dose.
Right. And so the mid credit scene opens up with Jimmy Woo addressing the situation after the fallout. Right. And Darcy's like, "Ooh, authority looks good on you," you know what I mean? And an agent tells Monica that she's needed in the movie theater. And then when she enters the theater, the agent transforms into a Skrull.
Yes.
And she tells Monica, "I was sent by an old friend of your mother's. He heard you'd been grounded. He'd like to meet with you." And she's like, "Where?" And she points up. And so this means fucking Nick Fury.
What?
Oh.
Because remember, at the end of Captain Marvel... Well, not the end of Captain Marvel. At the end of... What was the... He's up at the end of...
Well, yeah.
Was it Far From Home?
I thought that they were referring to the Skrull leader. That's why they would have sent a Skrull. You know.
Well, he's with the Skrulls. Nick Fury's with the Skrulls.
Okay.
Remember, he's like laying back in that simulation, and he walks out of the thing, and he's on the Skrull ship.
Right. That's right.
So, so the nameless Skrull agent was likely sent to retrieve Monica by none other than Nick Fury. At the end of Far From Home, it looked like Nick was running some sort of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. situation from space.
I guess that makes sense because like he's more of the one to create those machinations than I feel like the Skrull leader would be.
Right, and because I mean, like
he's just trying to get his refugees, like his people, to somewhere safe. Like he probably doesn't give a fuck beyond that.
Yeah,
but
just seeing a Skrull in the MCU finally,
which to me, Secret Invasion confirmed.
Yeah,
bitches.
dude. No way are they going to show the Skrulls without having to show Secret Invasion after.
Confirmed in my mind. And if
you think it'll be a movie or a TV show?
You know,
I'd be happy with either.
It sounds like it's probably needs to be a TV show.
If it's going to be a movie, it has to be a series. You can't cover that in a movie and do it.
I would say TV show.
But I would prefer TV show.
Right.
By far.
And so the end credit scene, it opens up on a camera sweeping through like this mountain range and over this body of water.
It's Crater Lake.
Is it Crater Lake?
Mm-hmm.
So it's Crater Lake, and it just goes into this cabin. And so Wanda's seen sitting on the steps with a mug. She's like getting coffee. She's like living regular ass life, right?
Off the grid. As regular as it can be, I guess.
Right. And so the camera continues to go past Wanda into a dark back room where you see the Scarlet Witch. And she's sitting cross-legged reading the Darkhold. And from there, she hears the cries of her boys asking for help. She looks up, and it cuts to black.
So what does it mean?
So
that she's going to resurrect them.
So she's an Nexus.
Right.
Which means even though her kids didn't exist in this world until she created her own little mini world, doesn't mean that they don't exist in a different reality somewhere across, time and space in some other
the multiverse.
World. Yeah, some other
Spider-Verse.
In some other part of the multiverse. She has kids and they're in trouble.
Yeah, this is pretty much the setup for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Okay.
Which is in production at the moment. Like, she is shooting for that movie right now.
Okay.
So, I loved the shit out of this series. This series was so well written, so beautifully shot.
Oh yeah, big time.
And it was good hook, line, and sinker for me.
Yeah.
I think that this was such a tee up for the Scarlet Witch.
Well, I mean, the whole thing, and I don't understand people who are so critical of the first couple of episodes. Like,
I liked those ones the most, I think.
Like,
because it set the scene.
Yeah, I mean, but no, it kind of is two camps like that, where some people hated the first episodes and loved the rest, and while a whole other group of people loved the first episodes and then hated them once they moved away from the TV format.
I definitely didn't hate the way that they did that.
I mean,
but
and I loved all of it.
Yeah, I did too.
Like,
but
I don't understand the people that were like, "Setup, bullshit." How? Why would you?
I did not like any of it.
Why would you give us all this background?
Yeah,
dumb. Like I don't understand that opinion.
I think the show was brilliant from first to last episode.
I don't even like this shit.
Yeah,
and I liked it.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole point of the beginning is to not know what's going on,
yeah,
and
exactly.
I think that really got under people's skins.
That's why. Well, that's one of the reasons, because when I started watching the first episode, before like any weird shit had happened, I messaged the group and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this show so far, because I legitimately was like, this is just like a sitcom. Like,
yeah.
So it threw me off guard.
Yeah, like I mean, it threw me off in terms of like, oh, what? Okay, all right. But, you know, it was well done anyway. And then at the end, you had that creepy factor coming in of like, shit ain't right. Something's wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's, you know, here in Andy and Opeyville, something's going fucking wrong.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, no.
And
something's up in Mayberry.
Yeah,
like,
I was like so down. So down.
Yeah.
I thought I saw it on Mulberry Street.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
But yeah, no, so it was, there's no objective reason to hate this show. The cinematography was great. The story, the writing, all of it was well done. The characterizations were great. I mean, really, it's
another win. It's another win for the MCU.
Yeah,
honestly.
It comes down to, like, in terms of opinion, it's really just, you know, what your preference of show format is. Right. And that's the only thing that you can dislike this on, based on.
Right, but some people are just fanboys with ridiculous expectations.
Yeah, true. Or, like, very specific ones that if you vary outside of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of bummed I didn't see Iron Man.
Shut up.
Spoiler alert. He's dead!
Bruce Willis was dead the whole time.
He was.
Okay. Really funny story about that movie.
Shut up. Shut up. You don't need to say it. Just shut up.
Don't tell people my story.
Just shut up.
Say it.
You don't need to say it. Just shut up.
It is the only movie that I've ever actually seen Cole scared of. After we were done watching it, he made me go around the house and make sure that all of the windows and doors were locked.
Aww,
baby. Oh,
sugar.
Sweetheart.
Muffin.
I hope such bad things happen to you.
Well, that concludes our WandaVision episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it.
Enjoyed WandaVision.
And enjoyed WandaVision. And if you haven't seen it yet, we've just spoiled the shit out of it.
If you haven't seen it, you have now.
Oops. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, there is a disclaimer at the beginning of every episode.
I mean, you just watched the entire series.
And if you've listened to us this far, you know that we spoil shit.
Yeah.
But we warn you.
As always, you can follow us on social media.
On Facebook at the Nerd Corporation, a podcast.
On Twitter and Instagram at NerdCourt Podcast.
Or you can shoot us an email at nerdcourtpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Search The Nerd Corporation and look out for our green NC logo.
And if you want to hear 3 hours worth of bullshit, subscribe to our Patreon.
Then you just have.
Yeah. Patreon.com/NerdCourtPodcast. Several tiers of loot to have access to, from stickers and shirts to extra episodes and bonus content. We would love to thank our Nerd Corporate backers, Glenn the Simp, Fillmore McLaurin, and Jake Hurst, and our Nerd Financial Investor, Kim Nichols. Thanks, Mom.
Thank you, Mom.
If you can't make a monthly contribution, consider supporting us on PayPal, paypal.me/NerdCourtPodcast. We want to have the best loot, best equipment, and give you the best nerdy listening experience, and that is the best way to do that. So for the Nerd Corporation, my name is Eddie Lyon.
I'm Cole Semper.
I'm Derek Reese.
I'm Nick Lewis.
And I'm Angela Wooden.
Keep it nerdy, y'all.
Me fist.
Bye.
I should have said I'm glaucoma.
I'm astigmatism.
Negative.